on how to keep her happy. You know, he should start the relationship when he wants to know what your advice would be to keep her happy. Because, you know, I mean, he won't have heard that you took Suzanne on that wonderful trip to the Cotswolds. So, what's your advice really for someone who's perhaps just started a relationship? I mean, you've been with Suzanne for what, 9 years?
Ages. I don't think you should have to go out of your way to please him, because then it's not the right person. I think you should just do what you want, and then if they like it, then they're the right ones for you. So don't go out of your way too much. I mean, I got her the posh badge for a birthday. That's once a year. Rest of the time, it's kind of like, you know, I like weird stuff. I like watching weird stuff and all that. Now and again, I won't make her watch it. I'll tape it.
This is amazing advice.
But sometimes
this is amazing advice.
Sometimes you just say, no, come on. The bloke with the two heads on, I want to watch it live.
So give and take is what you're saying there.
That's all. It shouldn't be hard. As soon as it's hard, it's not right. So just go about your business. See if she joins in.
Brilliant. Another quote for the book.
Woke up to the Commonwealth Games on the radio. Now, what are you making of the Commonwealth Games? Is that something that interests you? Are you a sports fan?
I'm not really. I mean, Suzanne's sort of been getting up early, especially to watch it. You know how I feel about a lot of it. It just seems to be sort of wasted. If people are running fast, use it. Do you know what I mean? Rather than just try to beat your own record or someone else's, do something where you do have to run. If you're a good swimmer, be a lifeguard. Don't be messing about going up and down.
I was swimming recently. I do a lot of swimming, and I've never quite mastered my front crawl. Just never quite nailed the breathing, because it's quite tricky, isn't it? You know, you've got to breathe at the right moment. And so I'm in the swimming pool in the local gym, and there's a guy bombing up and down, really doing a great forward stroke. So I waited till he came up, and sort of went, excuse me, mate. I was just watching you when you were doing your front crawl. I was really impressed. Could you just watch me when I do mine? Tell me if I'm going wrong.
Why would you go to a man?
I know, and that was what that was the problem. Is only as I was saying it did I realise what it sounded like. I'd just been watching you swimming up and down. I was really impressed.
And you're both in speedos.
Both in speedos. You know, I'm got the goggles on.
Oh, you've got special
orthopedic, special prescription goggles so I can see when I'm swimming.
How much are they?
Quite pricey.
But why do you need them? There's nothing in a pool to look at. It's not like you're scuba diving. There's nothing.
Hold on. Clearly there is something to look at in a pool.
Well, no, I wasn't checking. Well, I was checking him out, but I was checking him out for swimming tips. And he just looked at me when I asked him, can you just watch me and offer me any tips? And he just looked at me like I was just mental.
That is such a strange thing to say. Can you just watch? I don't know how you have the nerve to do that.
Well, it was innocently motivated.
Well, I know it's innocent, but what a strange thing to go up to someone.
But what civilization are we living in where we can't just ask our fellow man to help us out with our full crawl?
But we're in a society where we can't. But you know that. It's a strange thing to say.
But sometimes it's nice to just think, no, do you know what? I'm not going to fall into the trap of thinking he's immediately going to think I'm gay or that I'm chatting him up. I'm just going to ask him to do me a favour. There's nothing wrong with that.
What if he said, yeah, it's just good, yeah. Do you mind coming at me with my plastering? You'd have said, no, I can't.
But it's not the same. He's in the swimming pool. He's there in the pool. He's swimming up and down. He's not no skin off his nose to just offer a bit of kind advice. If your car's broken down in the middle of nowhere and someone drives by, it's a generous thing to do. Just stop and maybe look under the bonnet and help them out.
I agree.
But I don't see how it's any different. And he did, and all he asked was that I wake him up. No, he didn't. I'm joking. That's the jingle for Rockbusters, a quiz which I don't think anyone enjoys. I mean, Karl doesn't enjoy writing them, we don't enjoy listening to them, the listeners from the emails are just not interested, so don't know why we bother. But anyway,
right.
Here we go.
Last week's clues, go.
The first one, it's a cryptic clue, just in case.
No, stop saying cryptic, because they're not cryptic.
Clue with initials of an artist or a band. You work it out, you send in the answers. Right, the first one, the initials were SC, right? And the cryptic clue was, I went into the restaurant on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. The fella making the food, he was there each time. Okay. Right? So you've got to think about it. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, just tell us the answer.
What is he? He's a cook, and if he's making the food and that. If he was there on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's the same cook. Right?
Yeah.
So what have you got there?
Same cook.
Same cook.
Sam Cook. Sam
You
Cook.
said same cook.
Yeah, but if I went, the way I look at it is, if I worked in a record shop.
The way you look at it is,
If I worked
you
in a
get
record
close to
shop,
Cal
someone
and
came
just
and
say
said,
it.
"You got Sam Cook?" I'd go, "Yeah, sure, he's in the jazz section or whatever." Right, the second one.
Bollocks, that is bollocks, that one.
Go into that woman's store and rip her off. Right. So what's a store?
Shop.
Right. If you're ripping someone off, what are you doing?
Stealing.
Another way of
Conning.
Right. Okay. And what is it? It's a shop. It's a woman. So what am I saying?
What's the initial?
C.
Con shop.
Right. It's a woman.
Con her shop. Corn her shop.
There you
Corner
go.
shop.
So Steve worked that one out. Well done there. The last one.
I'm stunned.
You've had a go at laying down a track, but it ain't perfect.
Go on. What's that?
So a track
Yeah,
is
what's the initial?
E.
Okay.
So you've had a go at laying down this track.
Yeah.
So when you're laying down a track, it's like it's a mix, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've had a go at doing it. You've just it ain't perfect.
Right.
So you could say it's what's another word for not perfect? It's a bit of a
Shit.
bit of a like it's a bit rough, isn't it? It's a bit of a rough mix. It's your rough mix.
Your rough mix.
Your rough mix? I've never heard of that band.
That's not bad.
Annie Lennox, isn't it? Your rough mix. So
Your rough mix?
Candice Morris in London got them.
I really don't know what to say.
So sign picture off to
You
her.
Well, I feel embarrassed that we're still doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we're jacking it in a bit.
Should we just not mention it again like it never happened?
Well, let's do monkey news next week.
No, we're not doing monkey news. There's nothing going on. I'd be doing it if there was monkey news going on. It's not going on. We can't do it. Rockbusters has to fill the gap. Are we doing this week's?
Hurry up.
CK.
Depressing.
Oh God, we've got this week's to come. I thought this was over.
CK.
Okay, now.
Do you know the songs that you sing at Christmas? That bloke who sings them is brilliant at it. Right? CK. Second one. MG. I told the homosexual man that the grape tree was mine.
What?
I told the homosexual man that the grape tree was mine.
And what's the initials?
MG. Right?
Okay.
Bit of an easy one. And I ask you if you believe in Father Christmas, right? What would you say if I asked you? The initial is S.
Is that specifically Ricky?
We might as well keep it as Ricky, yeah. I ask you if you believe in Father Christmas, what would you say?
So have they got? Is there any prior knowledge? Do they have to guess what I'd say?
Well, no, it's obvious what you'd say, right?
Oh, this is so bad.
So
It's an embarrassment, this.
Yeah.
So it's a little quiz. Leave them thinking with that for the next week.
Right, what are you going to learn about next week?
Podcast at rickygervais.com. Just send them in.
Embarrassing. Don't bother. They're shit.
Right.
Well, that's about it for another week. It's the end of number 5. Number 6 next week. Keep coming to rickygervais.com. And we're going to keep you abreast of things that are going on. We've made a little video, haven't we, Carl? We might pop up there. And we've had a few emails about the old shows. People came into them late in the season. Well, you can now get all 12 episodes of the first season on iTunes. And I think that's 2 or 3 quid in England, or $5 or so, I'm not sure. But you can get those now, all 12. So from me, Ricky Gervais, goodbye. From Steve Merchant,
Goodbye.
and from Karl Pilkington.
Right.
Hello, welcome to number 3 in the 3rd series of the Ricky Gervais Show. With me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello there.
And of course, Karl Pilkington.
Right.
Had a good week, Karl?
All right. Just boring. It's a boring week. Because that sort of kidney operation I've had. It's just affecting my life in a big way.
How are you now, Carl? Are you feeling better?
Better than it was last week.
Because last week you really were not putting the effort in, were you?
And it's your own fault. You know, you've got kidney stones, you don't drink enough water.
Yeah, no, that's what I've been doing this week. Just drinking. You said what sort of week have you had? What have you been up to? That's what I've done. I've drank water. That's all I've been doing. If there's a water shortage in London, it's because of that. Honestly, just that's what you have to do. it's just boring. Just like a basking shark, just sort of with its mouth open, just going through the water. Sick of it.
Oh, he's led the life of plankton for 1 week.
Have you been able to do anything, or have you just been resting?
It's best to rest, just because, you know, your body's still in shock, even though in the head, physically, I thought it was all right. The body sort of just acts in weird ways.
Brilliant.
You know, it's a weird thing, isn't it? Like I said last week, you don't think about your body until there's something up with it, and then you panic a bit, and you go, right, I'm going to look after it from now on. I've been given a second chance here.
As I said before, this was not a life-threatening illness or operation.
No, but it's that same thing. The last time I had it was when I nearly choked to death on the Mr. Freeze Pop.
Right.
Where I had that sort of, what do they call it when you have like a second coming? Do you know what I mean? It's that sort of thing where
I don't think you are the second coming.
No, but that thing of...
If you are, we're all screwed.
You mean the second chance?
Yeah, it's a second chance thing.
Where your life flashes before you.
Yeah, but you get, you suddenly feel kinder. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, you sort of go, right, you know, that was a bit of a warning. Be
like
good,
Scrooge?
Be good to people and stuff. Yeah, a little bit. I think it's normal.
So are you now a nicer person? You're giving more generously to charity and the like?
Well, they haven't been out, so I can't do anything. I can't help anyone.
You go online and...
But maybe, you know, once...
Donate some money, all this cash you're in.
No, I've given enough money away. Sick of it. But,
It hasn't changed.
So he hasn't changed at all then, no?
But you've also got to be careful as well, because there's that thing of you can drown yourself by having too much water.
Yeah.
So it's just getting that balance right of not having too much and filling yourself up.
Well, yeah, it's that balance, right, of not dehydrating and, you know, becoming like a desert jellyfish, like a little crisp, and drowning yourself.
Yeah.
You're right, it is a balance. That's exactly what you've got to do.
I don't know how you managed it, Karl. It's very complicated.
Yeah.
No, but
What I do is when I'm thirsty, I drink, and when I'm not thirsty, I don't.
yeah, but that's the problem with me. Whatever it is that's in your head that says you should have a drink, I don't really have one.
It's called a brain.
It's called a brain. Yeah.
It's the brain that tells you.
But the brain's never thirsty. I only think of drinking when I'm eating. And I'm not eating as much because my kidney's weird. I don't want to put any pressure on it, so I don't drink. So now, if I have it in front of me all the time, I go, right, I've got to have that. So yeah, so I feel, you know, a bit better.
Good.
Just, it's just been a long week. Because when you don't do much, it's just, you know, time doesn't whiz by.
And normally your weeks are packed, as we know, with visits to the cobblers.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like they say, innit? They say...
Following an ant.
Exactly, yeah. You've all got a hectic schedule.
I know, I don't know how you fit it all in.
But, you know, because I was close to death and everything...
You weren't close to death.
I've been thinking about, you know, other people who've been in that situation where they're dying and what have you. And it's weird how, like, in a way, do you know, like they say before you die, things to do?
Yeah.
I've never heard that sentence before. I don't know if they say.
Well, I've extrapolated from that. What you mean is there are certain things you should do before you die. Swim with dolphins, etc.
Yeah. But in a way, because I've had such a boring week, it's been a long week, so if I was dying, don't go swim with dolphins because you'll love it and the time will whiz by and you go, oh, there's another day gone. Whereas I've been sat at home watching, you know, Price is Right and stuff, and it's just like, oh, it's only 4 o'clock. Oh, this is dragging. So if I was dying, I'd go, yeah, it's dragging, but I've got ages more left to live.
Yeah.
But what's the point?
But it's really about quality of existence, isn't it, when you're dying?
No, but anyway, I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
It's been a boring week. But what I've been doing is going on the internet, sort of learning stuff, watching more documentaries about stuff.
Yeah. Okay, tell me something you watched on the internet then.
The thing that stands out the most, there's this spider
Right.
that a fella got, popped it in like a little sort of bottle,
Yeah.
and chucked in 80 ants. And the spider, right, just went mental. And I don't know if do spiders eat ants. I don't know if they do, but he wasn't happy with them that they were there, and he was just whizzing around, sort of biting them, not eating them, just giving them a bite, and the ants would sort of just lie there dead. And spider had this system of sort of going, right, I'm going to put the dead ones over there, and he was biting them, dragging them across, putting them in a pile, killing another one, popping it in the pile, and by the end of it, it made like a little pile of dead ants, and he was just there sort of breathing heavily. And that was amazing, because I'd never witnessed that before. But you don't see that happening, do you, normally?
So you think that if people are unfortunately passing away, instead of visiting Disneyland or whatever, they should
just learn stuff. Just
get on the internet and watch
this
spiders.
World is amazing.
Attacking ants.
And just that thing of, last week you were saying how good ants were and how they're brainy and they work hard and everything. Yet none of them they didn't know what they were doing. There's panic going on. You watch them again running backwards and forwards, and I remember seeing a programme about ants where they're meant to sort of work together as a team, and if they climb up a person's leg, that person stood on their house, say, and they're all like, oh.
There's a signal and they all bite at the same time. They all bite at once.
Now, if that had done that on that spider, they sort of all go on it, and when they're all in position, one of them sort of goes, no, and it bites, and then it would do some damage, but there was none of that.
But you've seen things like the Towering Inferno, where even humans panic crazily and jump out of windows and things until Steve McQueen comes along and saves the day. So,
yeah, but at the end of the day, when you're in a Towering Inferno, you were there relaxing on holiday. So, of course, you're going to be relaxed, and the shock of it's going to make you go, oh, I wasn't ready for that, I was sat here in my trunks. Whereas ants should always be alert.
Well, yeah.
Any insect's life should always be...
What, so for a human scooping up 80 of them, putting them in a bottle with a giant spider?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, that's what insects do. Their life, they never relax. That's what's weird with an insect. There's no downtime, is there? It's you wake up, you go and get the food, you build your house. That's what you do, so you're always alert. They shouldn't be sort of running around going, well, what do we do now? That should be in.
I love that you're annoyed at these poor ants that were bitten to death.
But also, they say they're clever. I was looking at it. If I was an ant, I would have just crawled under the pile of dead ones. Just sit under there, wait for the spider to go. None of them were doing that. They were all staying on one side and the dead ones on the other. So I'm just saying that, you're always sticking up for insects, saying they know what they're doing. They don't.
Where's this come from? When have I ever stuck up for insects? It's you that follow them, saying they're brilliant and that, and ladybirds are right-handed and Christ knows what.
No, but, so I'd learnt that.
Brilliant. You haven't learned anything.
There's nothing to learn from that.
There's nothing you learned from that.
Something about jellyfish, and what else was there? There was a programme on the telly about survival, and a fella who, he looks after elephants, and he's in this little hang glider, looking for an elephant that he's looking after. He has to keep a track on where it's going and all that. And one day he's saying, oh, I haven't seen the elephant today, and the fella's like, look for it tomorrow. He's like, no, it's best if I go and look for it now, because it might go further away or something. He said, oh, I should leave it till tomorrow. So straight away you're going, oh, this is trouble. So he's going out in his glider, sort of at night. He's looking for... I
doubt it's a glider.
It's a glider with an engine. It's one
a light aircraft then.
Yeah. So he gets in that on his own. He's wandering about in the air, looking down. Like I say, it's loads of land. He's looking for one elephant. He's not having much luck. Anyway, I think he gets to a point when he goes, oh, I'm having no luck, I might as well go home. Goes to turn round. Something happens. The glider falls to the floor, crashes. Yeah, that crashes. He gets out. He's broke his legs, done his back in, his hands. I mean, he's in a bad way. And he looks at the plane, and that's a wreck. Petrol's coming out of it. He's thinking that's not going to fly again. And he has to lie there, doesn't he, for like 48 hours or something. And in that time, everything's being chucked at him. He has a lion wandering around him. A scorpion walked over his leg. Some sort of dangerous snake went in his shoe. Yeah. What else is there out there? Some sort of bad ants. Just everything that's there that could cause a problem. He had it on his line.
I haven't seen this, but I suspect there's a lot of conjecture. And it's telling a bit bad ants.
No, just anything that you could think of that's out there to cause you a bit of a problem.
Camels.
He got hot. He got so hot his lips fell off. No, because you have to have a lot of juice to keep your lips sort of how they are.
Right.
So that's the sort of state he was in.
Yeah.
48 hours. and yet he survived in the end. Someone came and found him.
And you thought you were bored doing nothing?
Yeah, no, well,
he didn't even have the internet.
Yeah, but he had a lot of insects.
What would you do then if you landed, right? Supposing we all land, right? We're shipwrecked, okay? There's no food around. But there's a chance we might be saved, like in a few days. We just got to stay alive just for a few days, okay? Steve offers up his penis.
For what purpose?
Well, it's already he's torn it in the car in the plane crash. Anyways, it's hanging off. You go, okay, listen, lads, let's eat this. Let's go 3 ways.
I should be so lucky. Okay, fine, yeah.
I'll look for something else. Because we're surrounded by water. Why are we eating knob? There's loads of fish and everything. There's more fish in the sea than there is stuff on land. That's something else that I've read about how there's more sea life happening. There's loads more.
What do you mean? Than what?
Than stuff happening on land.
Well, yeah, it's a bigger place, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's more. They're all coming further in because it's getting so crowded. Everything's being pushed outwards. So we're going to get to a point where people won't go walking in the sea because there'll be something deadly just floating about on near the shore.
Again, that's no information at all.
I don't know.
There's no information in that statement at all.
Yeah, I said how the sea is so overcrowded that everything's being pushed to the edge.
It's not overcrowded.
It is.
You mean things that are in the sea are being pushed to the edge of the sea?
Yeah, because there's new stuff happening all the time. There's new creatures being made, they're changing quickly. They were saying how, like, I don't know, 50 years ago, jellyfish didn't even have a sting.
That's rubbish. Try 50 million and you'll get closer to the truth.
But what I mean is, in terms of, like, land, we all look the same, don't we? We've had 2 legs and 2 arms for ages. Whereas in the sea, things are changing at a really fast rate. So, like, jellyfish we're knocking about.
The sea is a much more stable environment than the land anyway.
What are you on about?
Well, I wouldn't have thought evolution is any faster in the sea than land.
Yeah, it's...
Well, no, where's the evidence for this?
Well, I'm telling you now. Telling you how jellyfish have changed. And look at them.
And how have they changed then? So 50 years ago they didn't have a sting. Yeah. Now they have.
Yeah. Trilbies, they wore trilbies 50 years ago as well.
And they just spoke with a much more, refined accent.
Just that is quite a lot though, isn't it? Because jellyfish are nothing.
But no, you've made that up. That's not a fact. There's no facts come out of this. That's not that's interesting. You haven't said anything. Jellyfish haven't changed in 50 years.
No, they have. They've changed a lot in terms of...
Well, they haven't changed in hundreds of millions of years, so I don't know what the 60s had to do with anything. I just don't know what influence the Beatles and Mary Quant suddenly had on jellyfish, where they haven't changed for hundreds of millions of years.
With all this sort of loose, free sex, free love, they were just going berserk.
I know, yeah.
There were no inhibitions amongst the jellyfish anymore.
Things are changing a lot. To think that jellyfish, when they first came out, they were nothing. Jellyfish are nothing, aren't they? They're just a blob. So
when they first came out, when they were first released,
new by your own hell.
But what I'm saying is, even though they were nothing, they've grown to have a bit of something, just to get by in a busy place.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's all guesswork and conjecture.
It's not guesswork. I've been
all nonsense.
I've been reading all this and watching stuff.
Karl, you haven't learned anything.
Well, that's not entirely true, because he's obviously learnt enough to have written a poem about some of these subjects.
Oh, I love his poems. Are you getting into poetry now, properly?
I really like it, yeah.
Is Karl going to read this for me, Steve?
If you want him to.
I think so.
I did one about my kidneys.
What was it called?
Didn't have a name, it doesn't need it.
Ode to a Nephron.
Right, I did 2 about jellyfish.
Excellent.
I don't like jellyfish. They're not a fish, they're just a blob. They don't have eyes, fins or scales like a cod. They float about blind, stinging people in the seas, and no one eats jellyfish with chips and mushy peas. Get rid of them. And then there's just a short one I did about jellyfish. It would be spiteful to put jellyfish in a trifle.
really would.
That's great. That's really good. Because it's jelly. He's done us this.
Yeah.
That's a really good poem. It would be spiteful to put jellyfish in a trifle.
Yeah.
A little half rhyme.
Yeah.
Do you want the one about my kidneys?
Yeah.
For God's sake, me belly ache. The doctor said it's my kidney. He said he's got to stick a tube up my knob. I said, you got to be kidding me. For God's sake, knob ache.
Oh God! I'm sort of mildly disappointed that they're quite good.
Yeah.
No poet's ever written about jellyfish and kidneys. It's great. Oh God, I think you might have the market sewn up there. It would be spiteful to put a jellyfish in a trifle. I mean, I'm both impressed and fascinated and worried by Karl's new literary outlook.
Yeah.
You know, we've said to him, we've tried to make him appreciate the arts and poetry and explaining like what metaphor does and symbolism and all that. But I'm worried it'll backfire, because what if he becomes clever and erudite and then we lose our little endless well of stupidity? What if we lose our little shaved monkey? I mean, these podcasts without,
It's almost like you were evolving into a human.
I mean, you've authored a book.
Well, I have to say, without at the risk of sounding like we're shamelessly promoting it, I've only just looked at the book today, because that's the first time I've seen it, The World of Karl Pilkington, and I was very impressed by how legitimate it feels. I mean, it does feel like an actual
Well,
book.
he's put so much work into it. I mean,
He's done drawings, he's done extra thoughts and ideas, and it's very odd to think that has probably gone now into the British Library, which I think is obligated to take a copy of every book published.
Incredible.
I mean, let's be honest, it's not going to be on anyone's bookshelf. It'll be on their lavatory cistern, possibly next to their bed. But nevertheless, it's hardback and it's got pages. It's a real book.
Yeah.
Will you now read some great works? Will you read poetry at all?
Probably not. I don't like reading made-up stories, because
Fiction.
life's interesting enough, isn't it?
Right.
If I'm going to read someone else's lies, I might as well make some of my own up and save me money, is what I mean.
But you do read lies and made-up things. You just take them as the truth. Most of the spurious facts and apocryphal tales and ridiculous stories that you read on the internet are, fiction.
Yeah, but as long as it gets you thinking, then it really doesn't matter. Say like, I was telling you about the sea being full up,
Yeah.
right? How there's too many fish in it and they're all being pushed out. Then, it was saying about how the jellyfish is changing from a bit back, just being a blob, to now being a blob with stingy bits. You go, and then...
No, I don't. I wonder what he read.
And then I'll think of what other things are in the sea, how are they changing? And then that's when I might do a poem about an octopus with two heads. Because it's got me thinking. So no longer am I just reading someone else's story, spending a full week reading some other story. I've read a little paragraph, and that's got me thinking about
It's inspired you to make great art.
with an octopus with two heads. And you just think, yeah, that would work. That's a good way for them to evolve. They've got all the arms, give them two heads.
They've got all the arms.
And, it would work, because like I've said to you before, it is one big head, make it two smaller heads. So it's just looking at science, looking at how things can move.
It's not looking at
But it's
science.
not looking at science. You then speculating on an octopus having two heads is of no value, is it, to anyone or anything?
But there's people out there who are bringing out books who are writing stuff like that for sci-fi stuff. And I think, why am I reading
But that's
that?
entertainment. Everyone knows it's not true. They're doing it to...
But they do more than just say, wouldn't it be great if there was an octopus with two heads? They then paint a world in which this octopus exists and presumably causes some kind of narrative interest.
I can do that on my own though, without...
So what's the story of the octopus with two heads?
It's happier in the end. Everyone likes happy ending. He's got company.
But that's not a story, Carl. What? Tell us the story.
What, you made up a story about an octopus with two heads?
No, I'm just saying... I've thought about how the sea's changing. Right, what else is in the sea? Octopus. Right, what's an octopus like? Well, it's just a big head with a load of arms. Right, how would I change that?
I love this thought process.
But it's not a story. This is not a story. It's not anything. It's just some thoughts you've had. It's not
A story is there to make you think and have thoughts.
But what is it that you've thought? You've not. I don't see what you've thought here.
I've just thought, yeah, that'd be all right.
I know, but...
Well, like King Kong then. That's only someone who's gone, oh, monkeys are getting better at stuff.
Yes, but it has a story, doesn't it? They go in search.
No, it isn't. It isn't saying monkeys are getting better at stuff. That's not what it's saying. There's lots of themes, but that's not one of them.
Monkeys are getting better at stuff.
No, they're getting better at stuff. The way he tried to go out with a woman. That's them moving on, isn't it? It's the monkey going, do you know what? Quite fancy her. And you know from the beginning, I mean, that is a story that you go, well, that relationship ain't going to work. Do you know what I mean? I've not gone out with women who I've quite fancied, but then they smoke, and you go, oh, that's enough to put me off. Yeah. So, when a monkey's that big, the thought wouldn't even pass my mind.
To go on a date.
This could work out. Sometimes it's just, relationships aren't made for each other. Now, that for a story, you wouldn't think it'd go past page 1. Yet you're having a go at me because an octopus has got 2 heads. Which isn't that weird. When you look at them anyway, they must be the weirdest thing knocking about on the planet. I'm not kidding you. I've never seen anything so weird. And yet...
he's angry because he's not seen anything so weird as not doing so happy.
But it's not yet a story.
What's weird about it? What's strange about an octopus with all the things that could...
Why is it any weirder than a dog?
Because it couldn't be further away from us. A dog has got human eyes. If a jellyfish had a pair of eyes like ours, I probably wouldn't worry about them that much. But like I said to you, it's that way that they haven't got eyes, they're floating about. I can handle some fish. They look like if they've got eyes, you can make eye-to-eye contact with them. A jellyfish, what are you looking at? It's a snidey thing, like I've said to you. You can see a lot in eyes. Do you know what I mean? They say, don't trust him. Why? It's his eyes. Jellyfish haven't even got any, and I don't trust them. Whereas if it had them, maybe there'd be the odd one that'd go, oh, that one's all right.
Okay, Carl, I'm just going to throw an animal at you. Tell me how weird it is, what bits annoy you, how you change it, okay? A crab.
How would I change it?
Yeah. Does it annoy you? Do you think it's weird?
They are weird, but they're at that size where they can get away with it.
Yeah, it suits them. Okay, good.
Would I change anything? In a way, what you're saying about things not working, he can't walk forwards. So why hasn't something happened? Why haven't they said, do you know what, these arms are too clumsy. We need to have them so they can slot away easier, and we can pull them out when we need them, instead of clumping around with them. Because they do struggle. You see them struggling with their arms. Yet they're still here, they're still doing that, they're still designed that way.
What's the weirdest animal? So you think the octopus is the weirdest animal on Earth?
Yeah. In terms of design and everything, and if you lined everything up, say if I'd come from another planet, and everything was lined up in a row, and they said, right, we're going to give you a crash course in what's knocking about on this planet.
Yeah.
And you go, right, go on then. And you go, this is man, here's woman, here's a dog, here's a cat. Here's an octopus, I go, hang on a minute, what is this?
That jingle, of course, signifies another reading from Karl Pilkington's diary. There was an animal in the paper today that I've never before seen. It's called an alpaca. They are gormless looking. The fellow who breeds them said they are easy to look after because they're used to harsh conditions because they normally live in the mountains. The problem with this is they will turn useless eventually, and then if we try to bung it back on the Andes, they won't like it. It's like how people win these live like a star for a week competitions. They're not good for anyone. Okay?
Do you know what I mean? If something's living somewhere...
But he's not going to
why are we
send
gonna
them back
bung
to
it
the
back?
Andes. He's presumably breeding them for something else.
Yeah, but say if eventually, you know, the world's getting busy, there's hardly any room, and we go, right, what can we shift here? What's getting in our way that we can shift? Well, those funny-looking things came from the Andes, bung them back. All right, then let's put them back. And they go, oh, they don't like it. They're not surviving, they're dying out. Why did we bring them here? Oh, it was closer. Yeah, but look, we've died out now of the...
Sorry, this is not this isn't happening. They're angry about it, like it just happened and you're sick of it. None of this has happened
No,
yet.
I'm just looking at how it will happen. Leave them where they were.
But you're getting angry about things that you're speculating on now. It's absurd, Carl. Not once have I read here about your anger about terrorism or international, you know, political injustice. Not once have you written about that. Only about the fact we may send animals back to the Andes.
I know, but just because it just annoyed me, that's all. They brought them here, some fella's getting a load of praise because they brought this weird animal into the country. And yet, it's like, well, they were on the Andes for a reason. Leave them there. It was happier there. I mean, I feel guilty when I open a bag and a fly flies out of it and I think, where's that come from?
What bag are you opening with flies flying out? What bag?
No, just when, like, you know, the bag I took the computer home in, a fly flew out of it and I thought, when did that get in that bag? Wherever brought that from? And it's the same thing, it doesn't want to be somewhere else, it was where it was. And that's the same with this Polaco, whatever.
Great news. Get $25 cash back for the purchase you just made. Sign up
It's
now.
amazing! It really is the roundings of a madman, isn't it?
Some new sea thing has been found.
That's the headlines on the news.
It wasn't found by sea experts, it was found on eBay. Someone was selling it for a £5. I don't see the point in buying something that you don't know what it is.
What do you mean? What do you mean? It was...
Someone's found some sort of shell with a thing living in it.
Right.
They thought, oh, I've never seen one of these before, I can flog it on eBay. Someone bought it and then wanted to look after it, went to some sea expert and they said, oh, I don't know what that is. That's the story. It's just
Great
weird
news.
how
Now you can get
stuff's
up to
being found on
$25
eBay.
cash
No, it wasn't
back
found
for
on
any
eBay,
buy.com
though, was it?
purchase.
Yeah, but that's where the specialist people sort of picked up on it. It's just weird that, I mean, all I was saying is I wouldn't want one. If you don't know how to, if it's a new creature, you don't know what makes it happy. When you get a kitten, you go, stroke its head, loves it, right? And you can do that knowing that it's liking it. If I had a little seashell, and you go, does it sit in water? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? You could end up doing more damage. So that's why I wouldn't want it. It's nice to have rules, isn't it? It's nice to know what you're doing with something.
Well, as you write in the diary, it's like if an alien landed and wanted to live with you. As much fun as it might sound, it wouldn't be long before you got annoyed with it because it wouldn't eat the food you gave it.
That's what I'm saying, but I couldn't have a go at it because it might not like pasta.
It might not.
Everyone likes pasta.
Wow. That's it for another week. I hope you've enjoyed this half hour of drivel. I mean, some of the most stupid things ever said. I mean, it's like he's got a contempt now for the world. Like, he doesn't care what comes out of his head.
Learning can be frustrating, can't it? You know, you maybe I'm getting you thinking, maybe on your way home today you'll be going, octopus with two heads. And if you do that for 5 seconds, I've done my job.
Good to have a job in it. So, from me, Ricky Gervais, goodbye. From Steve Merchant,
Goodbye.
and from Karl Pilkington. Hello, I'm Ricky Gervais. The English biologist Thomas Huxley once wrote, "To a person uninstructed in natural history, his country or seaside stroll is a walk through a gallery filled with wonderful works of art, 9/10 of which have their faces turned to the wall. Teach him something of natural history, and you place in his hands a catalogue of those which are worth turning around. To some, the wonders and intricacies of the natural world are a miracle, living proof of the existence of God. To others, the natural world is a wondrous illustration of Darwinian evolution." To discuss the complexities of plant and animal life, I'm joined by Stephen Merchant. graduate of the University of Warwick, an award-winning writer.
Thank you so much for having me.
And Karl Pilkington, a man with no qualifications, very little education, but who is now known the world over as a man with a head like a fucking orange.
Right.
Natural history obviously takes in everything to do with animals, plants, bacteria, which are in neither group. I should start by just saying, Karl, that the natural world is so diverse that we don't even know how many species there are. Conservatively, there's 2 million species of animals. I mean, without even taking in plant life, there are at least 2 million species of animal. With plants and animals, there could be up to 10 million species. There are 37,000 different species of spider alone. What do you think of that?
It's a lot.
It is, isn't it?
But if there's loads of stuff out there that we don't know about, and we don't know what it's doing, is it that important? Is it worth finding them now?
Well, yeah.
Why?
Well, it may give us the key to unlock other mysteries.
A spider won't.
Well, it might do.
A spider won't be unlocking any mysteries.
Well, that's totally...
Plants are different. I reckon there's a natural cure for everything out there.
Because there's loads of animals that have toxins that are used in medicine.
Yeah, I know that we use dangerous spiders to get rid of headaches or whatever, or they do in the tribes, right?
Yeah, do you want to just expand on that point?
It's just that's what they do in tribes. They've got all these tribes, they've got all natural remedies. They go, what's up with you? You got a sore ankle, chew on this twig. And it works. I've seen it. They sent women out there and they couldn't believe the stuff they can do with twigs and trees and hedgehogs and stuff.
It wasn't an in-depth analysis, was it?
What I'm saying...
Women, they just sent some women out there. Apparently.
Yeah.
I reckon the stuff that's got venom in it, that's useful. We probably know about all them. Because
it doesn't make any sense. We probably know about all of them.
What I mean is the police know about the gangsters. But they go, right, we're aware of them, we can get on with it. We'll keep our eye on them. And it's the same in the jungle. The spiders, the deadly ones you're aware of. The ones that are just pottering about, you go, don't even worry about them, don't even give them a name. They're not doing anything.
But what if there's another poisonous spider they haven't identified yet, that lurking in the undergrowth?
I'd be very surprised.
So you'd be very surprised?
I'd be surprised if there was something...
It sounds like laziness on your part.
But they're discovering new species all the time.
We know about all the dangerous stuff now, because we have to. We live in a world now. We do. We know about a lot of the dangerous stuff. Whenever they find something new now, it's like a new butterfly or...
no, look at AIDS. When I was a kid, no one had ever heard of AIDS.
Yeah, but that's not a natural thing, is it? That's not like a spider or
What do you mean it's not a natural thing?
It's not a natural thing. It's not something that's... AIDS hasn't been like living under the soil for millions of years, but I'll wait till the 1980s and then come out and kill a load of people.
No, but it is a natural thing.
It's a new thing. It's new.
Yeah, but loads of animals are new, aren't they? Evolutionary terms, there's new animals in evolution.
I'm sure there's new stuff deep down that's just almost like bacteria. Sat under the soil, it'll never come to the top. Right? It's like having an old woman who's a neighbour. She never goes out, she doesn't bother you. Let her be.
But what if that old neighbour could unlock the secrets to...
I don't think she can.
Just even to us understanding the complexities of the universe, of the way things have developed and grown.
Because we know about it.
Well, why would we know about it? Because I never understand, why is it you want to stop researching and studying now? Why is it that you're happy to just draw a line under everything else? What if people had said this back in the 19th century?
We've done this. I think someone in the 1900s had said everything that's going to be invented has been invented. And then look what happened in that century.
Yeah, and I've said to you, look at the stuff that is being invented now. The frisbee and stuff like that. It's all stuff that you kind of go, it's all right, it's a good idea, but we don't need it.
Yeah, but the frisbee wasn't being worked on by the top brains of our generation. That was some novelty toy that some manufacturer made.
Yeah, but it's like, look at the fuss we made over that fella who came up with a Dyson vac. Everyone was like, he's up there with Einstein. Well, he's not. It's a good vac. It cleans up floors well and everything.
Who said he's up there with Einstein?
It's PR people.
In one of those programmes where they did great inventions of our time, it was easy early on. You go, Einstein, Newton did this, Archimedes, Dyson. And they started to run out because it is harder to come up with something new now. Because everything that's needed, remember, the things we've invented are things that we sort of go, we could do with that. Inventors don't sit there going, what can I make? Oh, I need a toaster. They've sat there, they've burnt the toast under the grill, and they've gone, I need some sort of device here.
Well, somebody, yeah.
And what can it do? I'll shape it like
Necessity
that.
is the mother of invention.
Yeah.
However, there are people who sit around going, where's a loophole in the market? Where's a niche?
Here's something. About a year ago, I came up with a see-through toaster, so that you can see how much the toast is cooked.
Right.
Found it about 2 months after that. Someone had done it. So I've just been beaten to the post.
Yeah, but all you're really doing, Carl, is modifying an existing invention.
What other examples of being pipped to the post are there? It's got to be one that hasn't been done. Or it's not your theory.
But also something that unlocks a mystery.
Or helps the world.
What's causing problems in the world at the moment that needs sorting?
Well, cures for things. Faster transport. Anything to do with security, anything to do with well-being. I mean,
obviously environmental concerns are a big issue. People trying to design automobiles that can run on different alternative fuels.
I met a bloke on a conference once who sent a drawing to Blue Peter. It was their design a car of the future, and he sent them a drawing that was a car, and the only innovation was that you can have a shit while driving. And then he put shit goes down pipe, which becomes fuel. They must have looked at that and gone, what a maniac.
I think that's a brilliant... I mean, I've driven a long way. I drove to Cornwall recently, and I would have loved...
But I think he did it when he was about 9, and he must have thought, oh, I'm being driven to school. Oh, I need the toilet. Wouldn't it be good?
But why hasn't that been done?
What?
Well, like Steve said, I've been in the same situation when you're driving and you go, oh, where's the service station? You see a sign in 36 miles.
So what?
You're
so you suggest pull your trousers down and shit down in the seat that's a toilet?
Yeah, well, what's wrong with that?
Well, you got your nan in your back.
She's got one as well.
So you are going to Cornwall all shitting?
Well, not all the time, but it's more useful to me than a lighter.
So also,
Where do you wash your hands?
Wash your hands or wipe your arse? At what point does that occur?
Oh, that's in the journey.
Oh, God! So you get in, you have a shit at Deptford, and you wipe your arse at Polperro.
Yeah, but like I've said to you, this isn't like just people going, oh, I think I'll have one. You need one? Not really, there's something to do, innit? I'm sick of playing I Spy, I'm having a shit. You have it when you really need one. When you have to pull off a motorway, it's a lot of messing about. There's probably going to be a queue at the toilet. No more queues at toilets.
10 minutes, Nick, that takes, doesn't it? 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
That's quick shit.
Driving along. It's just going on. It's just going on. Don't even know about it. Radio's on. Everyone's happy. Doesn't matter. I don't know. I mean, we all do it as well. That's the thing.
Anything else you'd come up with? I mean, so far you've come up with nothing. That was a 9-year-old boy's idea.
I mean, Breville maker wasn't needed.
That's true.
What's a Breville maker?
Like toasted sandwiches. There's so many things, chocolate fountains, anything like that. I just go, what are these? Who's invented these? Who's okayed this idea? And yet I can't have a shit on the motorway.
Think of computers.
What about them?
Well, I mean, that's in the last few years. You know, 100 years in our existence. Okay, they've been dabbling with anything even close to a computer. Nothing before that.
Yeah, computers are a good thing, and it baffles me as to how they came about. When you think a computer chip is just made out of sand. Now, for someone to come up with that, you go, there must have been some sort of alien involved here.
What do you mean? Why do you think that? So I love it. So the frisbee, rubbish. Anything too clever? Well, it wasn't an invention, it was an alien. So there's nothing between frisbee and computer chip.
What I'm saying is, it's not even an idea, is it?
What do you mean?
A computer chip, where's that come from?
Oh, it's amazing. Well, it's astounding, yeah.
So you think it was an alien? What are you talking about?
Great.
Because I can't believe that someone would go, right, I want to make something that will hold information and be able to do... I know, let's use some sand, we've got loads of that. You go, what, you don't...
Well, that's what genius is, though, isn't it?
There's no alien involved.
No, but when I say alien, I don't mean an alien came down here and said, you know, oh, do you want to buy this? There could have been a spaceship crash, right?
Right, yeah.
And there's all them rumours, isn't there, in that hangar. They've got the spaceship, they take it apart, they go, yeah, wheels, we've got them. Yeah, steering wheel. Yeah. And then they go, hang on, what's this here? And they find the hand.
But that as an explanation to human genius is nearly as ridiculous as the Adam and Eve explaining life on Earth. How could you tell that to someone without going red? I mean, I always worry about that, where people who believe in Adam and Eve, don't they wish there was a slightly better explanation? With all the evidence we've got, do you know what I mean? With all the evidence for evolution, that they think the Earth is 5,000 years old. And God made Adam out of some dust, and then he went, oh, I need a bird. It's all right, I'll make it out of your rim.
Yeah,
right?
but there's loads of things that you go, oh, this is a bit embarrassing. I bet Charles Darwin, when he said we've all come from apes, I bet he started on going, should have told about the frisbee first.
But the fact that sand makes computer chips is not the interesting thing. The interesting thing is how the human being discovered that, what am I talking about, sand makes computer chips, that silicon can have information put on it. But we're made out of oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, do you know what I mean? And hydrogen.
But that's nature. You see, nature is amazing. You can't beat nature. Right?
No.
It comes up with some amazing things.
Yeah, but man is nature. Don't forget that we're an animal. We're a brilliant ape. Now, it's clear to any sensible, reasonable, educated person that we did evolve from apes, or rather, we had a common ancestry, and that we're closest to the chimpanzee. We're actually 98.6% genetically identical to a chimpanzee, Karl. We're closer to a chimp than a chimp is to a gorilla. Genetically speaking.
I just find that hard to believe when you.
Well, I'm telling you it's true. So what are you finding hard to believe?
Well, your eyes, your own eyes are what sort of comes up with a lot of thoughts.
No. One's eyes don't come up with thoughts.
No,
Two,
what I'm saying is,
what you mean is you look at things and make up your own decisions.
So if there was no Darwin or anything,
yeah.
and I was sat somewhere and someone said, right, we're going to bring a few animals in. One of them's related.
Right. They're all related.
All right, but they're all related to you, but one's not so long ago, right? And they brought them in, and they lined them up, and there was a chimp stood there, and a gorilla, and what's another one? Orangutan. Yeah. Right, a girl, the orangutan, send that out. I'll be first to go, so he's definitely not linked to me.
See, I disagree, but there we go. Let's just look at it.
Yeah. So the hair colouring, there's none of that in our family.
Well, there's no hair.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it loses out because it's ginger.
So that's gone. Right, so I'm left with a gorilla and a chimp.
Right. I
would go for the gorilla.
Well, it's a good guess, but you'd be wrong. So we are much closer to the chimpanzee, okay? 98.6% genetically identical. Think of that. We only differ on 1.4% of our genetic makeup.
That must be the arse. Because that's a lot different.
Animal rights is a hot topic.
It's a big issue.
What rights should they have? How do they compare to humans? You know, it's a well-known fact that we test on animals with the assumption that humans are more important. We test drugs on animals, and we're basically saying if they die, they die. We'll learn something from them. People do make distinctions between animals, right? They know that it's probably more acceptable to kill an ant than
punch a cow.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I think that comes again from how close are they to humans? Have they got a face? Are they furry?
I told you, didn't I, about my dad's mate who had a monkey and he had to thump it.
What? Why, two things there. One, why did he have a monkey? Two, what sort of discipline is thumping a monkey? What was the monkey doing?
It was annoying his wife a lot, and sort of, you know, pinching her arse and stuff like that.
Right,
No,
right.
that's
Wait,
not true.
we've never heard this before. How have we had all these years
I'm
of
sure
monkeys
I
and we've
told you
never heard
about
this
it ages
before?
ago.
Your dad had a mate who had a monkey?
Yeah, I'm sure I told you.
Why did he have a monkey? Just for a laugh?
Well, it was back in the day when people did. They all had like odd, sort of pets, and that, didn't they? In like about 68.
Oh, 1968, when everyone had a monkey.
Well, you had to thump it. Now the weird thing is,
No, that's weird enough.
Is this is all the story? This is the entire story?
No.
You've got all the information you've got is he had a monkey and he had to thump it.
Yeah, my dad told me about it. When he found out that I was into monkeys, he said, oh, Benny thumped one. And,
Benny thumped one! Oh, my son's into natural history, particularly simian variety. I've got an interesting fact for you, Carl. Sit down. What is it, Peter? Benny thumped one. Brilliant.
But what was interesting is the way that people are thumping other people all the time. No one bats an eyelid. Thump a monkey. People go, you thumped a monkey.
Yes, they do. They do go.
You thumped a monkey.
So that's what's weird, isn't it?
Well, this chimp doesn't want to be caged and kept in a fucking council house in
No,
Manchester.
it was quite happy. And if
It
it wants to
wasn't
live like a
happy.
human, I mean, in the 70s, you know, there were all the teabag adverts and all that, and they were loving that.
No, they
Then
weren't
people
loving it.
interfere, people go, that's unfair. Now they're in like a cage in a zoo. You know, it was better when I was pushing the piano up the stairs.
They weren't really.
They were an actual delivery, man.
They weren't really sitting down and having a cup of tea.
It was documentary. A week in the life of the monkey delivery man.
I love that. Chimps in a zoo now going. Okay, now at least we were free.
Everyone used to drive a van.
And we're on 58 quid a week.
Yeah.
They're not meant to be kept in a house in Manchester. It's cool to keep a person in a house in Manchester, so it's fucking cool to keep a monkey.
Are you aware, Carl, that 99% of all forms of life that have existed on Earth are now extinct?
So there's only 1% of everything that's ever been still alive.
Yeah.
But that's just as well, isn't it?
Why?
Well, I think it's pretty crowded now. So it's just as well. You see, this is what I'm saying now. Years ago, they accepted that. Cavemen wouldn't have been going, oh, we're losing stuff's dying. Whereas now everyone's, oh, the panda, polar bears, not got any ice, and all that. At the end of the day, the world's only so big, we know it's not getting any bigger. Right? Stuff's got to die, hasn't it? You can't keep everything.
Just think of that, though, as a tool of natural selection, that the species that are surviving today are 1%. Just how amazing that is to survive and evolve. How perfect everything is on Earth. It's amazing.
No, but it'll drop off again, won't it? As we're finding new stuff, other stuff will be dying.
Well,
in that
things
1%, when that was written, when that statement was made, was the dodo gone or was it still here?
It was.
I'm pretty sure
it was
the
gone.
dodo was gone.
It was gone already.
It doesn't matter though, does it? A percentage is a percentage.
Yeah, the dodo went. The last dodo died. They said
Yeah.
that was the last dodo. No
Yeah.
more dodos. But we found
This Dido still making great
Great
tunes.
albums, great albums.
Great,
Although
yeah. We lost the dodo, but we've got Dido.
Her recent album's not sold very well, actually.
It's doing
dying
it.
out. Dying out. Everything has a lifespan.
Dido's dying out.
But and I think that's life. So it's not amazing, really.
That's
that
not
is-
alive anymore.
No, that's not an That's life's gone.
That's gone.
That was good.
What else?
Esther Ranson forced to just die out in the jungle.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
When I went to Natural History Museum, there was a thing called cyber or something. Right, died out ages ago. No one knows about, which is weird because everyone knows about the dodo.
Well,
Yeah.
that's because it died out in, I think, was it 18th century or something, wasn't it?
Well, you know, within what might seem recent history.
Yeah.
Well, this thing's sort of. I don't think it was far behind it. It's just timing, isn't it? That got more press, the dodo. The Cytherea, or whatever it's called. It was a big thing. It was
Well,
a cross.
you've seen it and you still don't know what it's called.
Well, it's spelled awkwardly. But but they said it was a cross between a moose and a giraffe. Now, we don't need that, do we? At no point have we said, do you know what we need here to get us through this?
Well, that's funny because when they first named the giraffe, they called it the camelopard because they thought it was a cross between a camel and a leopard.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you that when zoologists examined a platypus for the first time, some of them thought it might have been a hoax because they thought it could have been different parts of different animals sewn together. Because the platypus has the fur of an otter, the tail of a beaver, the bill and feet of a duck, and the venomous spurs of a fighting gamecock. So they assumed that
It was
must
like
have
a
been
scrappy challenge of animals.
Yeah, I remember, right?
But they actually,
Sorry, go on,
just to clarify that, it actually is descended from a link between reptiles and mammals almost 150 million years ago, a sort of living fossil.
When I was about 13, 14, I once tried to improve the animal kingdom by making the hardest animal ever, the most perfect animal.
Now, just to clarify, you didn't, in sort of Frankenstein style, try and bolt various bits of animals together.
It was a drawing that I sent to Blue Peter. There was no competition going on.
You just thought they would be appreciated.
I thought they'd look at that and they'd go, well, he's a genius.
Yeah.
This is like Da Vinci.
Sure.
And this is the animal. This is what I thought, the perfect animal. I mean, when I say perfect, I meant the hardest animal. This animal, it could take anything. It was just the strongest, hardest, fastest. Right.
Yeah.
So, I started with the head of a lion.
Of course, that makes
Do you know what I mean?
sense.
Oh, it looks good. Right, bite you out. Okay. I popped that on the body of a rhinoceros.
Okay, so it's got the toughness, the armour, if you like.
It's full strength. Head of a lion. Think of that. So you've got this picture. Head of a lion, body of a rhino. Okay? Hold on, though. Pop some arms on it. The front arms were the arms of a gorilla.
The arms of a gorilla.
So it could punch, grip, it could make stuff. The lion, I mean, that's where the lion falls down, because it can't make stuff.
Sure.
It can't climb, you know. So, okay then, wait a minute. You think that's got enough weaponry?
Sounds like it.
No. Pop on the tail of a giant scorpion.
A giant scorpion?
Yeah.
So a scorpion that's the size of a rhinoceros?
Exactly, so the tail was as long as that rhino. So now this is a scary animal.
Yeah.
And this is where the animal fell down. I thought, right, legs. Well, the fastest animal is the cheetah. Popped on 4 cheetah legs.
4 cheetah legs.
It would have collapsed.
Crushed under
It would
the
have
weight of the
collapsed
rhinoceros.
immediately. So,
Yeah. And you drew this, did you?
drew it, yeah.
Did you show it to anyone else?
Yeah, my mates went, that's brilliant.
Right.
I said, that's brilliant.
And then just sent it straight to Blue Peter.
Yeah.
Any reply?
No reply at all.
Really?
No reply at all. What do you think of that, Carl? How would you though? If you wanted to make the ultimate fighting animal, what would you come up with? If you had the power, like that fella in Arabian Nights, size of a chimpanzee, you could change into anything, but you could change into, you know, like that.
I don't think I'd go for strength and that. I'd go for survival.
What would you do? Cockroach.
No, I'd have like an armadillo's body.
Right. Okay. So that's as big as you can be now then. So you can't really pop on a lion's head because it'd just lay there going, I can't fucking move.
All right. I'd have head of an owl.
Right.
The head of an owl?
Yeah. What does that bring to the table?
The head's there to sort of make it look friendly to the
make it
human
friendly.
race. So
Okay.
because if you look half decent to the human race, they'll look after you.
Right.
That's the way it works.
Yeah,
With
okay.
a cat and a dog and all that.
Okay.
So the owl makes it look nice.
Right.
I'd have. I wouldn't have legs. I'd go for like the slug juice.
What do you mean? So now you're a really slow-moving, legless armadillo with the head of an owl.
Slithering along. How is that going to be friendly? They'll see the beautiful face, but then they'll be terrified by the sludge.
No, because the head's that nice that they'll forgo the sludge.
But hold on though. But wait a minute. So it's got this thing that's stuck, right, going at 0.1 miles an hour, with it going, right. You come over, you kick the head off. How is this?
No,
a
because the
survival?
head can go into the thing like a tortoise.
Can it?
Yeah, of course it can. Into the armadillo body.
Well, no, an armadillo doesn't do that. It just curls up into a ball.
Listen, an armadillo, is it?
So it's.
Why has it got the slug? Why is that
Because
so attractive?
what I'm thinking is an armadillo, they're good when they're on their feet. Flip them, they get stuck like a tortoise.
Right.
Slug stuff keeps it down. So if anything attacks it, it's like a limpet or one of them things that can go
Why
up
not a
to stuff.
limpet then?
But it can't get any. It can barely move. It can
Just go
hardly get
and
anywhere.
kick it.
Just
Just
can't get
Well, how can
anywhere.
it escape from danger? It's going to move
rubbish.
really slowly.
No, because
What, that's the worst
lock itself
animal.
in, it'll lock itself in.
Yeah, and then I just scoop it up on the
You
sand.
can't scoop it up, it locks itself in if it's in danger. I'd give it peacock feathers.
This is the worst animal
Why is it got peacock feathers?
Again, it's just
the worst animal I've ever heard.
Why is it got peacock feathers?
threatening. It looks more threatening.
That's the least threatening thing, peacock feathers. It's like Danny LaRue coming at you. There's nothing remotely scary about peacock
Yeah,
feathers.
to humans, but
Yeah.
the humans won't be harming it because they like the owl head. People will like to have these things in the garden. They eat lettuce.
They let it. Why has it got a beak? They eat lettuce. He's telling them what it's going to eat now. The owl's going, fuck that, I want a mouse. I love the fact that he's based what it eats on the fact that how it moves a bit like a slug. Yeah, they'll eat lettuce. It moves that, and they'll eat lettuce.
Like I said, it's not that weird if that existed. If that was normal, like when you went out to empty your bin, there was one of them sliding up the wall. You wouldn't even double take. It'd just be like, oh, there's the owl-head peacock feathered thing.
I don't know why it's climbing walls in an effort to find lettuce.
Yeah, why is it climbing up that wall?
Because that's the only way it can see properly. Because its head's coming out like that.
So even though you've designed this animal, now you're even explaining its limitations.
Well, it's mainly made to be on walls. Because what else is living on walls?
Oh, God! Oh, fucking hell! What a useless animal that is! Karl, I mean.
But nature chucks up odd things, doesn't it?
Don't. Why are we starting on this again?
No, I'm just saying that is nature. Now and again, you'll get stuff that.
Oh, was he looking at you?
Yeah.
Was he?
Look at his fucking head. Look at his stupid round fucking orangey head and
Why aren't you a freak? You've got a little bald head. We're not meant to be bald.
Well, I was, I think. That's the thing. That's what nature's done. You see, I didn't do anything with my hair when I had hair. I didn't style it, I didn't do anything with it, and it probably thought, what am I doing here? Whereas people who love their hair, and they comb it and have different styles and look after it, they have hair for ages.
No, it's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense.
Well, you're saying
absolute nonsense.
Well, it's a little bit weird then, isn't it? And that's what happens with old people. Once they lose their, will to live, once they lose the job, they get old. What's my purpose? What am I doing here? And it's like nature goes, you're not needed, and they die. Maybe that's what happened with the dodo. What's it doing? Can't fly, its wings are useless. Eat it, tastes horrible, kill it.
No, they did eat it. I think they did eat it.
Yeah, but it wasn't very nice, was it?
I think they over-farmed it. I think that's why it was extinct. Because they did eat it.
No, but they did eat it, but they didn't like it. Everybody, you never saw like a fully eaten carcass of a dodo.
You're making this up again. All conjecture.
No, but they didn't eat it all. Everybody would probably try it. No, it's not for me, that.
But you don't know
no
this.
idea,
you
just
don't know
making
this.
it up.
What's this based on? That people... And also, why would that kid it out?
Because I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because if it's not nice, people don't get another one in. And they die out. The reason we've got loads of chickens and loads of cows is because we eat them. If we ate polar bears, we wouldn't be short of them. Because you'd farm it, you'd take more care, but what's a polar bear doing? Sat on a block of ice floating about. It's no use to us, is it? It sounds harsh.
Once again, got his information from a Glacier Mint advert.
No, it's no use to us. We know they're there, and it's all very sad when you see them on the news sort of struggling and all that.
Yeah.
But it's going to make them stronger.
If scientists could bring back to life the creatures that have existed in the past, do you think that's a good idea or a bad idea?
Bad idea.
Bad idea?
Yeah.
Now, leaving aside the horrors of Jurassic Park, do you think for research purposes it might be a useful idea?
I don't think it is. For me, it's like a friends reunited. It's like people who you knew ages ago getting back in touch, and you go, I don't want to get in touch with you. That was then, and it's the same with a mammoth. That was then. You had your day, it didn't work out. Now to bring it back, it's unfair. You're messing with nature anyway. I think I've said to you before about I don't know what they do with them. They're massive things. I think it's like they're just not thinking about it. It's like rushing into buying furniture that's massive, and then you get it back and you can't get it through the door.
No,
and it'd be like that with a mammoth. I didn't think of that.
But what about if you could say you could feed the third world with mammoth meat?
But what's wrong with we've got loads of cows and stuff. Why do they need a mammoth? No one even knows what it tastes like. Imagine that. You bring it back and you've got another dodo on your hands.
No,
People go, this is horrible.
Well, they used to eat them because what humans found out is they could take down a mammoth, but they got greedy and they found out they could chase them, and so they'd go over the edge of a cliff. And what they did, they went crazy and they used to herd them and they'd all die, but of course then they'd waste the meat because they couldn't eat it all.
Yeah. Well, that's. I think that's why we shouldn't bring them back, because they are too big. So even if
Didn't hear a word of what you said then, didn't you?
No, I did. Everyone can eat them, but the problem is they're so big that you couldn't eat it quick enough, so it all went off.
Yeah, but I was saying that they killed too many at once.
Yeah, I heard that. But what I'm saying is, why not bring back an animal that's smaller, manageable for everyone?
Yeah.
That's why the chicken is perfect. Out of all the animals, perfect. Good size, feeds a family of 4. Whilst it's alive, it's giving you eggs.
I agree.
So it tastes nice.
But it doesn't if you think it's not having a good life. If suddenly said to me, I stopped eating it because I found out about how badly they were treated like 10 years ago, and at least I organic. And honestly, eating an animal that's been tortured doesn't taste nice. Foie gras would make me vomit. The thought of it, the evil involved in torturing a goose because the liver tastes slightly better. I mean, where does it end?
I think if they're looked after, they don't want to die. They're the ones in a nice warm little, hut, being fed lovely food. You're going, right, I'm going to cut your head off, and they're probably like, oh God, I'm going to miss this. I'm loving this life. Whereas the one sat in its own shit's going, have me first, I'm sick of it. There's different ways of looking at it.
Good point. So what you're saying is, give animals a bad life, torture them, and they'll be happy when you eat them. Brilliant.
But we've ordered we've ordered a turkey.
Right.
It's way too big. So I don't know what we're going to do with it. And it's worrying me now, actually. It'll be nice on Christmas Day, but it's my job to look after the kitchen and everything, tidy up. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it all.
The fact that he's been given a job to make it worthwhile, really, it's like a little home.
No, but a chicken. A chicken.
Arthur, you're washing up today, aren't you? Yeah, Arthur's job.
And that's the problem with a mammoth. I think the idea of it's probably quite pleasant. You go, oh, that's something new to try out. But afterwards, when you've got to tidy it up and stick it in cling film, you'll be going, how much of this have we got? So I wouldn't bring back the mammoth.
Brilliant.
Charles Darwin, of course, once said, I cannot persuade myself that a beneficent and omnipotent God would have created parasitic wasps with the express intention of their feeding within the living bodies of caterpillars. His point being that, creatures and their reproductive cycles are so complicated, so intricate, so bizarre, that alone is proof of the non-existence of God. Where do you stand on that?
It's pretty weird. We talked about it ages ago, didn't we, about the wasp that has a thing growing in it and all that.
Lays its egg in the spider.
Yeah, and then the spider goes mad, doesn't it?
You fucking can't lay your eggs in me, you fucking stripy wanker. Goes absolutely fucking mad.
It is weird.
What's going up my arse in a couple of what you fucking...
I don't know how it found out that that's what it had to do. That's the amazing thing, isn't it?
Well, it didn't, did it?
It just did it.
No, I know, but when I say found out, I mean it just did it.
Well, it's like mimicry. When they say mimicry, look, there's a poisonous snake, and then a snake comes along that looks a bit like it that's not poisonous, but people go, oh, careful, it's poisonous. That snake didn't go, I'm going to strain and I'm going to try and look like Scary over there. Some were born that looked a bit like Scary, and they survived.
Yeah, I know.
It's just being chosen.
But that's changing now, isn't it? The fact that, like, when them frogs came out, that were dangerous. They were just dangerous.
What frogs came out? But
some frogs in the jungle somewhere that were like pretty dangerous.
Yeah, from the tell, dangerous frogs in the jungle.
Yeah, but people didn't know that they were dangerous, and they were going about killing loads of stuff. Anyway,
they weren't going. They don't go around killing loads of stuff.
Nature said, "This is a bit unfair. Make them orange." So then the frogs that were orange were dangerous, but you got a warning. It was a bit more fair. Nature said, if they're going to go about being dangerous, make them orange, make them stand out. In a jungle, orange stands out in all the green, right? So people went, there's an orange frog, stay away. Then over time, nature went, right, what's happened here now? Everyone knows the orange frog's dangerous. Birds aren't eating it because they know it's dangerous. People are avoiding it. They don't even need the poison, it's just the orange it needs. So now you've got a load of frogs that are orange, not even deadly. But people go, is that a deadly orange one, or is it a friendly one? Well, best to leave it.
Again, he's explained my point, but took 30 times as long over it.
But listen, let me finish what I was going to say. But what's interesting with all that is, evolution has taught stuff to lie. Because that orange frog isn't deadly, it's going about like it's the big I am.
Yeah.
You could squash it with your hand. You can't do anything. But evolution...
He's swaggering around.
It's made it lie. So lying is part of evolution.
But it's not lying, is it?
What do you mean?
Well...
It's got no
the
poison.
interesting thing about, like a toad that secretes a poison is that often it's no good for it as an individual, but it's good for the species as a whole, because something will come along and chew it. Now that toad might well die, but that fox is sick and it doesn't eat another one. So it's sort of saving the species.
Yeah, but at the same time, the dodo tasted rubbish. Everybody said, don't eat one of them.
We don't know that. We don't know that. We don't know that.
I have read it. I've read that they don't taste very nice. But it didn't
Why
stop
doesn't it taste very nice?
It's just in the same way that chicken's nicer than duck. You can't all have nice tasting flesh. Pork's all right, but I prefer beef.
Point proven. Good night.
So what I'm saying is, with the dodo, it did taste horrible, but everyone wanted to give it a go. Meanwhile, it's different people trying it, so it died out in the end anyway. So your theory of a frog being poisonous and a fox going, yeah, that's horrible, I won't eat another one of them. Then you get another fox trying one, and another fox. They don't all have a word with each other, do they? They go, no, the rotten frog the other night. So it's pointless. It's a pointless exercise.
What I like is your image of nature. This idea that sort of, in your head, there's Mother Nature sat around like a boardroom table, making these decisions. People are coming in, oi, frog, what's been going on? Well, I've been poisoning people. Why? What about you? It's just, you just picture everything as one large
Your
reason.
confusion is that you still think of evolution has a will. You still believe that things are striving to be something else, as opposed to surviving if they adapt or change. I just want to go through some of the wonderful diversity of nature, some of the incredible feats of the animal kingdom, in a way. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Alligators and old people have something in common. They can hear notes only up to 4,000 vibrations a second.
I don't know what you're going to do with that information. When's that ever coming handy? When a band's getting together, they don't go, no, we're after crocodiles and old people. What sort of tune do they like? It's pointless.
You're not impressed, okay. Scientists have applied an electrode to the pleasure centre in a rat's brain. The rat pressed the lever 48,000 times over a full day in order to receive that shock that seemed to him pleasurable, choosing the simulator instead of having water or food or sex. So it chose that virtual pleasure, well, not virtual pleasure, it gave it real pleasure, but an artificial stimulus rather than the real thing, like food or water or
It never
sex.
had water. It never had a change.
No, it was addicted. It loved this electrode. It was giving it. It just made it feel good. It was getting as much pleasure from that as the real thing, from sex or food.
Yeah, but with any pleasure, you get sick of it, don't you? If you have too much of it.
Well, it had 48,000 hits in a day.
But I like having a Twix. But if I have more than 4 a week, I go, I've ruined that little pleasure I used to like.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, what did you do the second day?
No,
Did you go near the machine the second day?
No.
There you go then.
No. But what you're saying is this, right? That Twix is failing to give you pleasure on that 5th Twix. But this succeeds every time because it's literally pleasure. It hits the part of the brain that says this is pleasurable.
So, my pleasure nerve, what are you talking about in my head? It lights up when I have Twix.
I don't think it ever lights up.
Right.
I don't think you've got a pleasure nerve.
But it lights up when I have a Twix.
Right.
It lights up if there's some chicken, right? It lights up if there's
What a miserable cunt he is.
You know, all loads of things.
Chicken and Twix.
That's it. That's all he lives for.
No.
Hang yourself, mate.
So, what you're saying is, if I had that device that the rat's got, I'd just sit there, wouldn't I, hitting it, thinking, I can't be bothered going to the shop for a Twix, I'll just hit this button.
Yeah. Think of this. So aggressive is the horned frog of Argentina that people believe that if the frog bites the lip of the horse will die. Actually, the frog's mouth contains no poison. It earned its fearsome reputation because it attacks animals many times its size. What do you think of a frog attacking
Ridiculous.
a horse?
I don't know what's going on. I don't know why that would happen. Why is it getting upset with a horse? Of all the things for a frog to be like getting cocky with, them two should never even meet.
Why?
Because it's not. I mean, fights are normally over something, aren't they?
Yeah.
If you have a fight with someone, you're in my yard, or you
Yeah.
know, you're fighting over something. A horse
I
and a
love the
frog.
fact that he immediately goes back to the 1930s.
Yeah.
You're in my yard.
But a horse and a frog. How did that disagree?
What are they swapping over?
I don't understand what they've got in common. I don't understand it. I bet that's only happened once. It's a rare incident, someone said put that in a book. I can't imagine it. That's happening a lot, that horses are being bit by frogs all over the shop.
Oh, God. I saw this trailer for this documentary that said the man who's having a baby. And I turned on, and it's a woman going through a sex change, and she's pregnant. That's not a man having a baby. That's a woman having a beard.
Having a break.
Why is that? That's a con. That is pure sense. It's a man having a baby. Look, world's first. No, it's a woman. It's a woman. What do you think of that? What would you do for your doctor? And I came to him and went, Carl, listen, I'm having a bit of a rethink of these. The penis, I hate it. I hate this cock.
Well, what do you mean you hate it?
I hate it. I don't want it there. It doesn't look right. It doesn't look right. It just sits there resting on these fucking awful testicles that I'm going to get rid of. I want this thrown away.
Yeah, well, it's, they're not a great look. I know that. Everyone knows that. It's just the way they are. I mean, if we're all being honest, they're an odd design. I don't think anyone likes their own, do they? That's why we cover them. They're not a great thing, are they?
It's not why we cover them, though, is it?
It's part of it, I think. I think deep down. I mean, even if, I know you hate the Adam and Eve thing, but even if back then he was like, good God, cover them up. And he had a leaf on.
No, then listen. So, are you thinking fundamentally, then, that aesthetically, the testicles and the penis isn't as good as it could be? What would you have there instead?
Well, it's designed that way because that's the way it's got to be designed. It's more about function than...
yeah.
And that's the thing, isn't it? With modern technology...
The thing is the testicles have to be outside because they have to be a few degrees below body temperature.
Yeah.
Otherwise the Sertoli cells die, which sort of feed the semen and all that. So, to be functioning and sort of like fertile, they have to be outside, which is annoying because I'd put a little rib cage around them, like that. I'd pop a rib cage around those, protect them, wear a cricket box, have that built in, so you cannot get a swift kick in the bollocks that makes you feel sick.
But it'd be better if they could sort of reverse up in a way that they were hidden away. Right. So that they were just, then you dropped them, it's like, right, we need to cool them down, be at it in about half an hour.
Yeah.
Drop them down.
Yeah, like the gear on an aeroplane, landing gear. Yeah, and landing gear down, and the bollocks and the cooling down. Or you could just pop them in the fridge for 10 minutes.
They could detach and you could pop them in the fridge.
Yeah. Can you make me some breasts?
Easy.
Okay. Go on, you say easy, what are you going to do? What's your plan?
Just, how do you do that? It's tablets, isn't it?
No, but...
Testosterone, eh?
Testosterone? Toblerone. I want some Toblerone.
Well, sort of pointy tits, like Madonna.
Where do you stop though? Suppose I came to you and said, Doctor, listen, I like the bollocks, I like the penis, but I don't like them where they are. I want them in the middle of my chest. I want breasticles. Yeah? The arse, I don't like it around the back, I can't see what's going on. Pop that on the front where the bollocks were. I want my arse where I can look down and see what's going on. Can you do it?
I think it's just easier to move the head.
Rick, I know you're a big fan of Professor Richard Dawkins, the evolutionary biologist. He wrote a book, The Ancestor's Tale, in which he predicted a post-human world. This was his kind of hypothesis, if we were let me read what he's written. If nuclear war destroys humanity and most of the rest of life, a good bet for survival in the short term and for evolutionary ancestry in the long term is rats. I have a post-Armageddon vision. We and all the other large animals are gone. Rodents emerge as the ultimate post-human scavengers. They gnaw their way through New York, London and Tokyo, digesting spilled larders, ghost supermarkets and human corpses, and turning them into new generations of rats and mice, whose racing populations explode out of the cities and into the countryside. When all the relics of human profligacy are eaten, populations crash again and the rodents turn on each other, and on the cockroaches scavenging with them. In a period of intense competition, short generations perhaps with radioactivity-enhanced mutation rates boost rapid evolution. With human ships and planes gone, islands become islands again, with local populations isolated, save for occasional lucky raftings. Ideal conditions for evolutionary divergence. Within 5 million years, a whole range of new species replace the ones we know. Herds of giant grazing rats are stalked by saber-toothed predatory rats. Given enough time, will a species of intelligent, cultivated rats emerge? Will rodent historians and scientists eventually organise careful archaeological digs and through the strata of our long-compacted cities reconstruct the peculiar and temporarily tragic circumstances that gave ratkind its big break?
Karl, thoughts?
I mean, you know.
Well, that's about it for the second in the series of the Ricky Gervais Guide to. That was natural history.
I think we've left no stone unturned there, Rick.
I think that is definitive work. If you've enjoyed the Ricky Gervais Guide to Natural History, why not go back and listen to the Ricky Gervais Guide to Medicine, if you haven't already, or if you have, because it'd be revision. You know what I mean?
There will be a test.
There won't be a test.
There won't be a test.
We can't be bothered.
No.
And next in the series is the Ricky and next in the series is the Ricky Gervais Guide to the Arts. Look forward
Sorry,
to
just
that.
to clarify, that's the arts.
Yeah,
Right.
not the arts.
Sorry, just
yeah,
because
the
the
arts.
way you speak.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it should never go away. People speak your words all.
Yeah, well, no, but just be clear.
Well, no, but you
Be clear.
clearly you're not being clear, aren't you? You're making dumb, bumbling fool, and we won't even get on to Karl Pilkington. Anyway, thank you very much from me, Ricky Gervais, with me, Stephen Merchant.
Goodbye.
And Karl Pilkington.
All right.
Audible hopes you have enjoyed this program.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Hi, Ricky Gervais here, with me Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And Karl Pilkington. Welcome to the final episode in our series of 12 podcasts. I say final, it's final of 12, but we may be carrying on.
Go on.
Well, next week we're going to try and do another one to continue this for at least a little while. We may have to charge a small fee for it because it'll cost us money, and Karl is unemployed, but we mean a real tiny little fee. But hopefully we will be back next week. Now, we're not sure where it'll be. It'll probably be on iTunes, but just go to rickygervais.com and we'll guide you there. Hurrah! Yay! And thanks for listening for this long and supporting us. I hope you continue to support us. Go on, continue to support us.
Yeah, particularly Karl, who has no money whatsoever and is desperate. He's a desperate man. Is that
There's
right,
no one out there going, oh, look, they're charging for it now. But, people forget we gave 12 for free.
This is it. So quickly people forget.
We're big shots.
Yeah.
Well, Carl's not. But, we are, aren't we?
Exactly. I mean, we were generous, but we're not that generous.
We're not mad, and Karl needs a little bit of money. Look at his little round little head. He's like little tiny Tim over there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Look at him sitting there. Karl, you've had a good week?
It's been all right, yeah.
Brilliant.
Well,
More of that next week. But you'll have to pay for it now. I'm surprised you're not buzzing, because we just had our photograph taken to enter the Guinness Book of Records for the greatest downloaded podcast of all time. We went along to the Guardian and the press were there and they took a little picture of his round head, didn't they?
Yeah, but I don't know why should I be excited about it when it's just...
Have you always wanted to be in the Guinness World of Records?
Not really, no.
I've been looking at the... they presented us with this year's, and I've been looking through it, and there's some fascinating ones. I used to get this as a kid.
That's what I'm saying, though. There's loads of things in there that I used to go to. I looked at it online the other day to see if, what's on there. You click on it, the home page that you get when you click on Guinness Book of Records, it's a fellow with the most ear hair, right? It looks amazing. So that, to me, is what the Guinness Book of Records is about.
So you're impressed with the bloke who just happens to have the most ear hair?
No, but it's commitment. He could have shaved it off, but he didn't. He left it.
Yeah, no, it's less commitment.
But that just grew. We actually bothered to do a podcast.
All right, forget that then. The one with the rings on the neck where they stretch the neck so their head's tall. That's commitment. If that didn't work out, he's stuck with that head and he didn't even get in the book.
You're stuck with that head and you have got in the book, so be happy. What if it's a stitch-up? What if you're under roundest head?
I'd be a bit annoyed.
Why?
Just because I don't... I mean, have you got a choice? Say like the fella with, the small man. Say if he's not happy about being small, he's trying to go about his life, he knows people are looking at him, pointing at him, going, look at him, he's tiny. But does he want to be in the book?
Oh, I think they've got to give their consent.
Have they?
Because if the smallest wasn't willing to be in there, they'd go, the second smallest man is so-and-so, he was willing to be in here.
Yeah, but the smallest one is Frank, and he didn't want to do it, so again, he's in it without wanting to be in it.
No, but I don't know.
He's got you there, Rick.
I don't know if they do. I don't know if they go around. I think that you'd have to be complicit in it for them to measure your head and say this is the roundest head on the planet Earth. Not, you know what I mean?
But then what do I do with that? That's what I'm saying. Is it something you put on a CV? I don't see the point in it.
Well, I think you are the fellow with the roundest head, and I think a lot of people know that. Because also, I've noticed when people ask for a picture of you, they don't say, can I have a signed picture of Karl? They say, can I have a signed picture of Karl's head? Which is a weird thing to say about a human being, isn't it? They go, look at his head. Look at his head, not look at his face. Or can I have a picture of him? They say, can I have a picture of... Have you got a picture of Karl's head? Why are they allowed to mention that?
And the thing is, like, we're on some sort of broadcasting medium where you don't even see my head, so it's not important.
Well, I can't see your head because the mic's perfectly round and it obliterates it out like an eclipse.
But what I mean is, it doesn't matter, does it? For doing what I do, it doesn't interfere in any shape or form.
But the thing is, Karl, what I'm fascinated with, and I've said it before, you've got a head like a fucking orange.
We'll be charging for more information like that from next week. We do, of course, Rick, every week get thousands of emails. I mean, it's crazy. It takes us ages to go through them and read them. We are going through them, we are reading them. Freddie Gerstrom from Winchester says, of course, it was recently Valentine's Day. What's the most romantic thing that you've done for Suzanne, Karl, that you can think of?
I don't really do all that.
Sure.
Valentine's Day stuff.
It's just... The problem is, if you do it once, they expect it every year.
Yeah.
That's the problem with Christmas and stuff, isn't it? It's like, that's what you do now, every year.
Every day, yeah.
So I prefer to just sort of wait, you know what I mean? And if I think of an idea or I know of something that she wants, I might get her something, but I might not do it on Valentine's Day. It's that thing, it's like how I've said about Pancake Tuesday. Make it Pancake Wednesday. Have it when you want. Why am I waiting? Why am I waiting for someone to tell me when I can have a pancake? I'll have it today if I want one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's Pancake Tuesday. No, I won't bother. I'll have trifle. So it's the same with this. With Suzanne. Luckily, right? I mean, Valentine's Day and what have you. She was ill.
Luckily.
So we didn't have to go out. So I'd say, is he asking for advice?
Well, I suppose, yeah, certainly you may as well give it.
Treat them when they deserve it.
Right.
I remember once when Suzanne was ill, she had a fever, but there was no food in the house. What did you suggest to her? She was too ill.
Well, it was when we were still living in Manchester and that, and we needed to get some food in for tea and stuff. And I said, come to the supermarket. She was like, no, I'm ill, you go. And I ate buying food. I just sort of get a bit blank when I'm looking at it. There's too much, isn't there? That's the problem. You go down all these aisles and there's just too much. So anyway, I said, no, come with me. She was like, oh, but I've got this fever, I'm hot and everything. So I said, well, come to the supermarket, you go on the frozen aisle, cool yourself down. And she did, and she said, it made it worse, she was ill for another 3 days, but...
How would you go about chatting up a woman in a bar? What tips could you give?
I've never worked like that. It's always been like a friend of a friend and all that, and just happened to meet them. And then, you have a chat, and then...
How did you meet Suzanne?
That was when I was working with her. And she gave me 20p for the hot chocolate machine. She never asked for it back. Thought she's all right. Been sort of 11 years, so it works.
Has she ever given you that? You've never given that 20p
Never
back?
asked for it back.
And did you return the favour, perhaps on the next date? You buy her a Kit Kat or something?
No, I don't think I did. I think word got out that she liked me and that. And what did I do? I think I did some work for her. I did some editing for her, to sort of show off my skills and that.
Sure.
And she was like, "Oh, you're good at this, aren't you?" I was like, "Yeah." And I think she got us another drink because I was doing that editing for her in my own time.
So you're up on the deal, aren't you? Because I know now, I know for a fact that you've not spent any money on her in 11 years, so you're 40p up.
At least. Lawrence from New York says, I was wondering how Mr. K. Pilkington would interpret this famous saying of philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein. The quote is, if a lion could talk, we could not understand him.
Even if it's English?
Yeah, if a lion could speak English, so there's no language barrier, he's speaking English words and using all the correct grammar and everything, but you wouldn't be able to understand what he was saying.
Why?
Because it is from a different world. His frames of reference would be so bizarre that you wouldn't be able to get a grasp on what he was talking about, because you'd have so little in common, even if he used real words.
No, but he's talking English.
Yeah, no, but his reference points would be just so far removed. You know, they're removed slightly when, if you saw two people talking about Kierkegaard, you'd
I wouldn't understand that.
Exactly. So remove that a billion times to a different species with different input.
No, but it depends. If I'm talking to a lion in London Zoo,
Yeah.
he'll be saying, "Oh, I'm fed up of being stuck in here. I'll go in here." It's like that. It depends what his background is. I mean, there's some people who might have lived down the road from me, but have a totally different life.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't matter that it's a lion, does it?
Well, yeah, because they're just trying to remove it even more. So now it's not just a bloke who lived a few doors away. Now it's not even a bloke. Now it's not even...
Yeah, but I'd pick something smaller, or something, you know, a worm without a mouth. That'd go definitely not.
What? Definitely not what?
I won't be having a chat with it. I just think that a worm that's on the ground, what's it got to offer me? It's blind and it hasn't got a mouth. It's not going to be a good day out with it, is what I'm saying. It's not going to have that much to say to me, even if it's English. Right?
Even if it's...
And how can you tell if a worm is English? Is it wear a very tiny bowler hat? Oh, Christ.
But do you understand?
What about jellyfish?
No, you see, I think that's where you can say you wouldn't be able to have a good chat with them, because to me, the sea might as well be another world.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In a way, I think the fish sort of have more rights than us.
What do you mean?
Just because when whoever made the world, right? Say, you know, we're just bigging up God, but if I was to have a go at him, I'd say you added too much water.
Criticism 1 to God, right?
So,
How would you have changed that?
just more land.
Fair enough. Now, why have fish got more rights than us? That was
Because there's loads of them, and when you look at the amount of sea on the world, right? There's loads of that. You only have to like you know, I was in Malaga the other week, right? And you know, you look in the sea, there's loads of different fish, and that's just in like 8-foot water. If you go miles out, there's like all sorts of weird fish, isn't there, with like lights on them and everything. So, and there's just millions of different types.
Yeah.
Now,
But why does that mean they've got more rights than us?
just because I think, you know, rights come in numbers, don't they? If you know what I mean. Like, if there's one of you shouting, people go, "Oh, he's an idiot, shut up," whatever. If there's loads of you shouting, they go, "Oh, best listen to them, see what they've got to say."
Right.
And that's what I mean about fish.
Yeah.
There's loads of fish.
Right.
So,
But they're not really making their voices heard, though, are they?
I know, because they're underwater. But what I mean is, I don't know what I mean.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Oh, pleased to meet you. Start me up. I'm here to tell you all about Channel 4 Friday night comedy. So start me up. Now then, there's 3 great new comedies from New Green Wing. That's nearly ready. My Name is Earl and The It Crowd. The great new comedy from the creator of Father Ted. Ow! Friday night comedy this Friday on Channel 4. Switch me in. It's gonna be a winner.
Karl, right? What do you think it's like being a crab? If you could go now, your mind, into a crab, what would you see? Where would you be? What would you be doing? What would you be thinking? What do you think of all the other things the crabs you'd see, the squids you'd see? What's it like, do you think? I want you to... It's like creative writing. Just think. Just let yourself go. Come on.
It's got to be a crab.
What do you think of a slug? What do you think to be a slug? What would you do if you were transported now into a slug? What would you do? And Suzanne, you're suddenly in the kitchen, but you're a slug, and Suzanne's sort of like there, just making tea and that. How do you let her know it's you?
It's impossible. I'd just chuck myself into the salt pots. No, because what do you do? I'd hate that. That would be horrible.
Oh God!
Have you ever read Franz Kafka's Metamorphosis, in which a man wakes up and he's turned into a giant beetle, and that's the whole story. I think it might be of interest to you.
So what happened to him with the beetle?
Well, I don't want to ruin it for you in case you read it.
I won't be reading it, don't worry.
He joined a pop group with 3 other people. He was brilliant.
No, it's a really wonderful book. It's a kind of almost heartbreaking because, of course, he does, like Ricky's saying, he finds it very hard then to relate to other people, even though he still has the consciousness of a human. You know, his parents, the rest of his family, they don't know how to deal with him, you know, because he's a giant beetle. He becomes a freak, he becomes an outsider. It's terrible.
But hang on, though. Is he a giant beetle? Or
Yeah.
Is he... Well, yeah, well, that's not going to go down well, is it? Of course people aren't going to like you. But if it's a normal-sized one, then you just get in with the other beetles, don't you? Whereas if you're a giant...
How would you do that? How would you ingratiate yourself? Right, so you're suddenly a beetle, you're Karl Pilkington, right? There's other people, they're doing their business, they're scuttling around, and you go in there, and they look at you as a new beetle. What's your first... What do you do? How do you ingratiate yourself?
Well, for a bit, I wouldn't sort of barge into their house and that. I'd wait until they're out and about. And I'd like in life, right, sort of help them out. I don't know what beetles do all day. I've never seen one doing anything. They just seem to be going from one place to another.
Right.
I've never seen them carrying anything. I don't know what they eat. I don't know what they do. I don't know how we got them, right? But what I mean is, I'd watch them and I'd sort of help them out. And, I mean, you know, it's like going on a date or meeting a woman, isn't it?
But what if there is...
Whoa, hang on, what do you mean? How is it like going on a date with a woman?
Well, it's like I said about Suzanne with her hot chocolate. She bought me that and I've gone, she's all right. Right. She gets me another one before I know it, she's living with me. So, it's...
So you're all these beetles, they're scrubbing around, right? You're sort of like watching them, and then you realise that you want to mate with this female beetle. What do you do? What's your first move?
Yeah, but I don't know what beetles do I? So I don't know what you do. I don't know if you go up and go, oh, what did they do? How did they get on? Well, it's a different world. I don't know yet, do I? Because I haven't done it.
Would you feel bad, because having your own mind in this beetle, right? Would you feel bad shagging a beetle? Would you feel that was a bit sick, because you've got a human mind?
Well, no, because you just close your eyes and that, don't you? And go, pretend to think of something else. So, get round it that way. There's no point getting down about it, because I'm stuck now as a beetle. So you've got to get on with it.
But if you're a slug, you said you'd throw yourself in the salt pot. What would you do if you're a beetle if you got depressed? And you see all the other humans. No, you see your mates, right? They're listening to the iPod. What would you do?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. No, beetles are different because they do tend to hang about with each other. A slug's always on its own. It's a lonely insect, isn't it?
It's not an insect.
All right, what is it?
A mollusk.
Right, they're lonely. I've never seen a load of snails all together or slugs wandering about, whereas beetles seem to knock about in crowds.
Yeah.
So, oh God, okay, right, another one.
So they're sociable creatures, and it wouldn't bother you that you've got the mind of Karl Pilkington in there? Because you can't communicate with these people, because they don't speak English, they don't have any communication with you.
Yeah, but if it's happened to me, there'll be another one in there.
Okay then, right, okay. What would you do, right? What's that disgusting thing? What could it be? Right, what would you do, right, if you were suddenly a fly, right, and you were knocking around with the flies, right, and you had to land on some
Excrement?
Yeah. What would you do?
Yeah, but I don't have to.
What do you mean? You're a fly. You're loving it.
I wouldn't be loving it, though, would I?
Why?
Because of me in that fly's head. So I don't think other flies would be going, come on, join in. I'd just be like, no, wait, watch and that. Because I don't see why they have to do that.
What would you do, right, if you had to go back and you were in you had to go and put your mind in like an unhatched egg of something. Like maybe one of those, that a wasp was injected in a spider. So you know you're in an egg, right, which is really uncomfortable, in a spider. How would you feel about that, Carl? You're a baby wasp in the abdomen of a spider.
And I know everything that I know now. I'm sat in there.
Yeah. And now I'm in a spider as an unborn wasp. What the fuck am I doing here? What's going on?
I don't know what I do there. Really try and sleep. There's nothing else to do though, is there?
I just pray to God it never happens.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
I don't believe that he's written it down!
Well, that's the jingle that signals it's time for more extracts from Karl's diary, and we'll lunge straight into it. Wandered down Carnaby Street. There was a happy homeless fella. I gave him £1.50. I thought of a tongue twister after giving him the money. It goes, if you can't treat a cheerful tramp, what sort of tramp can you treat?
It's good, that.
All right.
Say it fast.
If you can't treat a cheerful tramp, what sort of tramp can you treat?
Good, isn't it?
Good, that, yeah. You've got too much time on your hands, Carl.
Learned some famous quotes to see if they are as good as my sayings. Number 1, treat every day as if it's your last. Very famous saying. Now, is that something you do, Karl?
But you know, my problem with that one is that if it was your last, you wouldn't want to be doing much. That's the only problem I've got with that. I wouldn't want to, go to a fairground or whatever because you're going, oh, it's my last day, what am I going to do? And I think you'd spend so much time worrying about what you're going to do that you'd end up staying in.
I think you're right. You've taken some of the poetry out of it. I think it means live life to the fullest, right?
I like the fact that you were musing on the idea that if it was your last day, you'd go to the fair. It's getting such a 19th century way of spending your final day.
I know, yeah. Well, the thing is, the other thing is that the only thing that people get depressed about in terms of sort of like, life and death is not the knowledge that they're gonna die, but more the knowledge that they know they're going to die when they're dying. If someone told you no one ever knows when they're going to die, no one ever gets an illness, no one ever gets hit by a truck, everyone passes away peacefully in their sleep, dreaming they're riding a big marshmallow, right? Then you wouldn't care about anything. It wouldn't matter when, it wouldn't matter if you died tomorrow or in 30 years' time. You'd just live life to the full. You'd have it, every day would be great. You'd go out, you'd come back, you'd fall asleep. That would be amazing. There'd be no stress. There'd be no angsty, we're all going to die stress, because it wouldn't matter, because it would just be your life. Wouldn't it be amazing if someone guaranteed you, Karl, you're going to die in your sleep? I'm not going to tell you when.
Yeah, but some people do, don't they?
Well, exactly. Yeah, but we never know we're going to, because we stress. What if we get a dreadful illness? What if we,
But we're almost not letting people die naturally anymore, are we? Because we're always bodging stuff up.
What do you mean?
Well, someone who might naturally die in the sleep aren't allowed to naturally die in the sleep because they wake them up with those electric things and get them going again and pop in a new lung or whatever whilst they're at it. That's what I'm saying. They don't just... You never hear it anymore, do you? Frank peacefully died in his sleep. No, he died on the operating table whilst we were putting in a new lung. They don't die naturally anymore.
Frank died peacefully with 40,000 volts going through them and a couple of people going, clear, clear.
Rushing about today. Got to get a lot done as I'm flying to Malaga tomorrow to see my mum and dad. Don't like flying. I'd be happy if they give you a parachute instead of a life jacket. They say Da Vinci invented the parachute as well as the helicopter. He never got round to making them though because he only drew them on some paper. Got up at 5 a.m. as I had to get to Heathrow to get on the plane to see mum and dad in Malaga. Went out for a drink with a cousin who lives in Spain. Ain't seen her for 27 years. Oh, that must have been tricky, making conversation.
I didn't really bother. Because where do you start? I might as well go up to anyone in the street and start having a chat.
Yeah, you have to get further back than... did you want Chantal to win Big Brother?
Yeah. Me dad and me talked about history. I said we shouldn't go on about things that happened ages ago because I bet something similar has happened more recently.
Brilliant.
Read about an island in the Indian Ocean where there are tribesmen still living like they're cavemen. A helicopter tried to land and the tribesmen chucked spears at them. This is what I meant about not having to talk about things that happened ages ago. We have got new cavemen now, so why do we talk about the old ones? People could have lived before, but computers and all that blew up and books got burnt, so all they had left is what these tribesmen have got left.
Ramblings.
And that's the ramblings
man.
of a maniac. That's just a few hours before you go crazy with a gun in them.
No, but what I mean there is, right, say if all this has happened before, right, podcasting's been happening years ago, something happens.
Again, a lot of information from the Planet of the Apes.
Something happens, world ends, right, we come back again somehow.
Yeah. It's the detail you leave out that makes you intriguing. Just like the watch that you can wear that tells you when you're going to die. How does it work? Pop it on your wrist. That's all the detail you need. So the world happened, we came back,
Have you seen the pictures? Forget it then if you don't get it.
It's interesting that you had all those profound thoughts about this period into the past when they all lived, but you've still found it appropriate to include at the end of that. It says that tribesmen wave their knobs about when they've had enough of having visitors.
That's what it said in the paper. That's what happens. They're quite active.
What paper is this that you're reading?
It was in like a paper a couple of days ago. It said they don't mind having visitors if they're bringing them coconuts and stuff that they can eat. Once they've got everything they need, they start waving the tackle about, and that means like, right, leave now, which you would, wouldn't you?
Yeah, at a dinner party.
My grandfather used to do it.
Well now, what have we here? I'm here to tell you all about Friday night comedy on Channel 4. There's 3 great comedies. Green Wing, It's Nearly Ready, My Name is Earl, and The It Crowd. The great new comedy from the creator of Father Ted. And what have we here? Jingle, jangle, jingle, jangle as it happens. Friday night comedy, this Friday on Channel 4. Switch it on. Now then, well now, the young man. Well now then, well now then, young man.
That jingle is getting more annoyed by the week.
Well, this is the final monkey news, right? I'm not doing this anymore, right? Because we've covered it all.
All the monkey news has been covered?
It has. We've done loads of them. I think all the news that needs to be sort of known has been told, right?
That is the end of the news. Jesus Christ.
What?
Get on with it.
Right, do you know, in the first podcast that we did, we chatted about the monkey that went into space and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So where we left
So haven't you got a new monkey news?
Well, it's an update, isn't it? I mean,
Is
all
it new?
No.
Has it happened recently? Has it happened since podcast 1?
I have to pick Ricky up on the point that he thinks any of the monkey news we've heard, A, happened, and B, happened recently. It almost always happened in olden times, or ages ago.
Oh, you're right. It never happened.
Right, anyway, so like I say, the first monkey news, it was about this monkey that went into space.
This was the one that was fed by bananas that came out of a little chute on the spacecraft.
Yeah, it went up there, did a really good job. It was taught how to press the buttons, hit the left button for a banana, you know.
Right button to
go right.
Whatever.
Make history and go,
Go
into
right and
space.
stuff. Right,
What do I want? Not more banana. You haven't taken off yet? More banana. Oh, we shouldn't have given him a choice of banana or a change history. We should have the right button. We should have fed him before he went and only had a right button. He's at the left button again. He's just eating bananas up there. What's going on? It's costing us a fortune. No fucker. Press the right button and do something. He hit the left button again, the little fucker.
so anyway, yeah, I told you, he went up there, he came back, he could never get that
The high,
high
exactly,
again.
yeah.
You know what I mean? He tried other things. I think he tried to get a band together and that. Right, so anyway, there was loads of monkeys that were signed up to this NASA program, and it was 1961 when this little monkey called Ham, that was his name. So a bit of an update. That's the same one as I talked about. His name was Ham. As well as him, there was one called Enos. He went around the world loads of times. So anyway, what I found out about it since then, Ham went up there, did the left-right business with the bananas. Enos, they didn't put as much work into the trip when he went up there, and something went wrong with the machinery. And do you know how you get a banana for the left button? and all that.
It's official now. There's 2 buttons in this spaceship. Banana dispenser and everything else. The right button is everything else.
But it worked the other way. The machinery went weird.
Oh no, really?
So it meant that the right button would give him a banana.
Right.
The left button did everything else.
Oh no.
So what had been taught? This is the problem with electronics, isn't it?
Well, no, I don't think
Apparently this is the problem.
But the good I mean, honestly, look it up if you want. This is all online.
So what happened when it all went haywire? What occurred?
Carl, this is online and it's bollocks.
Luckily, Enos, because he'd done a few trips.
Right, he was experienced.
Well, I know this isn't right. As much as I love bananas, this isn't right.
That was his thinking, of course it was.
So anyway, he came back. They were all like over the moon with him.
He said, I can't work with these conditions.
Good mission and everything. Well done on working it out. He sorted all that out. It moved on a few years. Armstrong's gone up there. Buzz and that other fella. They've been up there. The monkeys aren't needed anymore. But they were like, we've got all these monkeys who have done NASA training. What are we going to do with them all? And they had to raise £14 million to make them like an old sort of chimp tone for retired
Retired NASA-trained monkeys.
Chimpanauts. Something they've got in there is like a little museum, right, of all the missions and that they've been on, so they can sort of, even though they're not going to be going into space again, they can almost relive it and reminisce of the times that they've had.
They're reminiscing with each other, are they?
Just sort of going, remember that time when it all went wrong, the button became the left when it should have been the right and all the rest of it. They just, sort of talking about old times and what have you, like old people like to do.
Sure.
And yeah, that's it. So if you want to like give some money towards their own, you can go to like savethechimps.org, and it's all there, all that information that I've given you. It's all there.
I'd be surprised if all the information you've given us is there.
It's all there.
I'd be very surprised.
It's all there, just retired, monkeys and that who've done the bit.
Perhaps we should retire Monkey News to that same space.
That's what I mean. So, I hope you've enjoyed the Monkey News and that. That was the last one. Look after the monkeys. Do your bit, because they've done their bit. That's it, yeah. But just because I'm not giving the news, look it up. You know what I mean? It's all out there. Don't be ignorant.
Wise words.
Thank you so much for listening to these 12 podcasts. I've really enjoyed it. I know Steve and Karl have. This podcast was, as usual, hosted by Positive Internet, the world's #1 podcast. Next week, a brand new podcast. We have, as I say, we have got to charge a little bit for it because it does cost money to host. And please keep listening. It is going to be very little, and Karl needs your money. If you could see what I see now, he's just looking at me with this. He just needs stuff, don't you, Karl? What do you need? What do you need?
Just something more than nothing.
For information on the archive of the podcasts, these last 12 shows, and for the new podcasts to come, go to rickygervais.com. You can register there. We'll send out loads of information. Plus, you'll just find out links to how to get all this stuff that we're offering out there. There's also a free taster if you just can't wait for more of Karl's nonsense. Make sure, please, that you register your email and everything so we can get in touch and just tell you what's going to happen with the Ricky Gervais show, with Karl's mind, and with everything else. rickygervais.com. Go there. Makes perfect sense.
It's the end of an era, but the start of a new one. It's almost seamless in a way, isn't it? The end and the beginning. But Karl, what do you think about that? How things end and new things begin?
Well, I suppose you've got to have an end for a beginning, so it's just a bit odd that we've got an end and having a beginning. But that's science for you.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited. The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Hello, welcome to the 8th in this series of 12 podcasts, The Ricky Gervais Show. with The Guardian. I'm Ricky Gervais. Hello. With me, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And Karl Pilkington. So, thank you again for all your emails. We're getting thousands. We're up to about 250,000 hits a week now, people listening to this show.
Blimey.
250,000 people bothering to go and listen to this show.
Nothing else in their lives.
All around the
better to
world.
do.
It's unbelievable, though. North America, Asia, South America, all over Europe, and thanks to everyone in England as well, where we do it from, in a little room in London. Keep going to rickygervais.com and registering, because so when we finish these 12, we can email you when we come back and start again. We're going to need a little bit of time off to record the second series of extras.
Well, I'll tell you more than that, Rick. You're going to need some time off just to have a little breather, because I know how hard you work.
And you, mate.
Well, thanks, mate, but I mean, I know you blinking work hard.
But Carl's been on holiday again, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah, because, Carl, you don't do anything.
And you have weekends off. You take at least 5 or 6 weeks holiday a year, even though you haven't got a job now, you're meant to be doing this, and yet you still
So
go
your
on
whole
holiday.
life's a holiday, basically.
Yeah, why do you need a holiday? You potter around. Your big day last week was going to the cobblers. So why do you need a break so much this week?
It's just that, you know, it's good for your brain and that, isn't it? It opens it up a bit.
You are not evidence for that.
Where did you go?
Gran Canaria.
For a week? Just sitting around?
Well, there isn't much else to do at Gran Canaria. I mean, I don't want to go slagging a place off, because every time I seem to talk about somewhere, I get into trouble for it. But it's just like a big rock. It's just volcanic, isn't it?
And you must have looked like a little barnacle on that.
Have you been there before?
Been near it before, to another rock, which was just...
But
it
why,
was the
you
same
had
sort of
fingers
thing.
for it, why did you go back?
Because you think, well, they can't have loads of these islands that are the same, like just a big rock with hotels on. They can't get away with it. So you think,
They
well, the
obviously
next
are
one...
getting away with it. But why do you keep going to these places that are rocks? Why don't you investigate first? Ask your travel agent, is this a giant rock?
Because that's what you do, isn't it? You go and find out yourself. I mean, when Armstrong went to the moon, what was he expecting up there? That's a fact, that's a big rock. And he still went all that way.
I don't know what that point was.
No, so what I'm saying is, though, sometimes...
Tell us about the moon landing. As you started, what do you know about that? You know, because I mean, so far you've given us a lot of insight into the moon landing. So there was Armstrong.
There was Armstrong in that.
Yeah.
There was a fella called Buzz.
Yeah.
And another bloke.
Yeah. Poor bastard.
Yeah, never remembered.
Yeah, go on.
And they went up there, got out. 2 of them did. One of them didn't bother. The one whose name, don't know who he was, didn't even get out to stretch his legs, right? Went all that way. He had a potter about, had a wander, came back again.
Yeah.
So that's all you need to know, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
And in your opinion, pointless?
To me, yeah. But to them, I'm sure they had a good time, and that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you just take the risk, don't you? Go and visit a place, make up your own mind.
And so what did you make of this place? You enjoy it, Gran Canaria? It was just a big rock, but you
I bet the moon was better.
Really?
What did you do?
It was just, it's one of them. It's a big hotel, which is that's where I made a mistake. It was one of those like big, massive places where there's loads of people, and you go for your dinner.
That describes a hotel.
Yeah.
No.
To me.
You've nailed that.
I've been to a few, that sounds like it.
No, but do you know what I mean though? There's the nice small ones where it's just enough people, but this is like mental, and it was full of old people really. I mean that's probably why it's called Gran Canaria, right? Because there's just old people. Yeah, right. But what I thought I'd start doing is start a diary.
Okay, why?
Just because I sort of had a bit of time on my hands and that. Just thought, write it down, write stuff down.
And do you hope that this one day will become one of the great literary documents like Samuel Pepys' diary?
I haven't heard of that. Is it any good?
You've never heard of Samuel Pepys' diary?
No,
the most famous diary other than probably Anne Frank's.
I've heard of Anne Frank's and that, and I thought if she's sat in a loft, knocking stuff up, not much going on in her life at that point, yet she was still writing it down.
Yeah, whereas you've been to Gran Canaria. Yeah.
I thought, so there is stuff going on that I can chat about. Start a diary.
Sure. You started a diary.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do? Did you keep it up every day?
Yeah, just...
Oh, can I read it, please?
Well, a diary is meant to be sort of...
Please, can I read some out on this podcast? Carl...
Some of it, though, is only relevant to me. It's sort of...
Oh, this is... Please, give me it. Oh, my God.
I mean, this isn't... I haven't just...
Look how big
It's
Oh
one
my
of those
God.
desk diaries.
It's huge. It's about a foot long, and it's Oh, that is amazing. Imagine if Anne Frank's had been like that. As she got out, right, everyone would have heard it clank down on the desk.
Yeah, but the writing's quite big, isn't it?
Oh, look, give us that.
Do you know about joined up writing? Have you
This
heard
is
about that?
amazing.
Sometimes you can't read it, can you? So it's
Right,
best to
okay.
look at Asian times.
Oh my God! It starts on the first day. This is wonderful. Going on holiday to Gran Canaria today. Woke up to the news that Tony Banks had died. There was a piece on the news about how everyone was shocked. Got me thinking about an invention that would be good. Right, a watch that counted down your life. If it says you've got 3 days left, members. Sometimes you can find them swinging in one, or maybe eating a banana.
Ambulance comes rushing over and stuff. The other 2 members are looking pretty nervous for some reason.
What are they doing?
They're saying, look, don't take the helmet off because you can do more damage to the
Well,
neck.
don't tell the paramedics how to do it.
They know their job.
Yeah,
They know their job.
So they were like, just and plus, he came in at last minute to help us out. He doesn't want everyone to know who he is. He's not after the limelight, like some of the members we used to have. He just was helping his country out.
Yeah.
Leave the helmet on. Anyway, they get him in the ambulance and stuff. The other 2 are looking a bit worried and what have you. They're gutted. They lost the race.
The little bloke, is the bloke not saying anything? Is he not?
He's in the ambulance now.
Is he not saying anything though?
Anyway, word got out, right, from one of the ambulance drivers a few weeks down the line, once all the dust had settled on the Olympics and stuff, and like Newsday and stuff.
Yeah.
It was reported that one of the ambulance drivers said that on that sort of dreadful night, when the country lost out on a medal in the bobsleigh, he sort of reported that there was a monkey in the back of the ambulance. People were like going, you're joking.
I don't remember this.
Well, this is it, you see, because they sort of swept it under the carpet a little bit. They were like, this is crazy talk.
It's all
This is
shit
crazy
again.
talk.
Once talk, absolute shit. Where'd you get this from?
This is crazy talk, right?
It is crazy talk, and it's from the mouth of Karl Pilkington.
But the weird thing is that backed it up. Following week, there was a story of some people who visited the zoo saw a chimp in a neck brace. That's this week's Monkey News.
Bollocks. Well, that's the end of another podcast. Thanks very much from me, Ricky Gervais, with me, Stephen Merchant.
Goodbye.
And Karl Pilkington. And thanks again to those guys at Positive Internet who host this podcast, the world's #1 podcast. We'd also like to congratulate Steve Carell from the American office, who won a Golden Globe.
Yes, congratulations, Steve, and obviously everyone involved with the American office. And for our American listeners, if you haven't checked out the American office on NBC, it's dynamite. It really is a cracking show. I don't know if you're a fan of the original, but if you are, or even if you're not, just watch it. It's great. It gets better and better week by week.
It's absolutely brilliant. That's NBC. I think that's Thursday nights, isn't it?
After My Name Is Earl.
That's got to be the first time a Golden Globe has been won by 2 different people for the same character.
I think you're probably right, mate.
Cheers.
Hey, congratulations again for winning it all those years ago.
2.
All right.
2.
I don't need to mention it.
2. Bye.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
St. Francis of Assisi once said, "Where there is charity and wisdom, there is neither fear nor ignorance." Acts of human charity have been documented since the beginning of recorded history. Yet even now, in the most democratic and economically advanced nations, charity is still necessary. Does this mean that charitable acts are failing to effect meaningful change? Should charity even be the responsibility of individual citizens, or is it the obligation of government? Do handouts make people lazy and dependent instead of resourceful and responsible for their own livelihoods? Is it every man for himself, or are we all in this together? To discuss these questions and more, I'm joined by Stephen Merchant, award-winning writer and graduate of the University of Warwick.
Hello.
And Karl Pilkington. Gonk.
What? So, Red Nose Day, Comic Relief, has come round again.
Yeah, Red Nose Day is obviously the very specific date in the calendar for the whole generic term comic relief, I think.
It's normally when the telecast happens.
Yeah.
People know that that's the day when they can dress up, do charitable acts. But of course, Comic Relief is a charity that's working all the time for disenfranchised all over the world.
And you can go to the website all year round, which is comicrelief.com.
I think there's also rednoseday.com, which is if you particularly want to donate for this year's appeal. Have you always been a strong champion of comic relief, Carl?
Not really.
Why was I expecting that answer?
No, but I mean, we're doing a bit of charity now, but we're donating our time. It's not much. It's not costing anything.
But I do loads of stuff without going on about it. I don't think you should shout about the bits you do for charity, because then who are you doing it for?
Oh, exactly. I mean, well, this is my thing, isn't it? That there's a lot of people that only do it if it's in the public eye. It's to do it really to be a busybody or to show off or to feel good about themselves. And I suppose that's good and bad. I mean, if it gets you involved, if it does some good. My gift to the world has been you, Carl, to be quite honest. I feel that you're the world.
I'm sure there's people in Africa going, we prefer blankets.
Doing a wills charity, isn't it?
Is it?
Sort of.
I mean,
No,
if you make a donation to a charity within the will, I suppose that's quite charitable. But just giving money to your relatives isn't, is it?
Of course it is.
Well,
they shouldn't have it.
They're getting someone for nothing, but it's, I don't know, it's giving something away that you have no use for.
Exactly.
Yeah, but forget that. It's someone is getting something when they've done nothing for it, really.
Well, it is. I suppose it is charity, but charity is usually infused with some sort of altruism. It's usually to do with giving a piece of something that is kindly because you could do with it. I mean, not strictly. I think you can give away something you don't need, but it's hardly donating a kidney, is it? Or some of your wages. It's like, it's not charity on your part because you're literally not around anymore. So it's no longer you giving it, it's just some money
I could either give it them or not give it them. Once I'm dead and they've turned to mush, I shouldn't be worrying about Suzanne's mum getting a table.
But you know, leaving her?
Well, I called up my dad first.
Why are you doing a will for the show?
Because of this travel thing
I'm
doing, and it can get dangerous, you know.
But why haven't you done a will up to now?
Because you sort of, I don't know, I felt sort of young and free. Whereas now
That's never 2 words I've associated with Carl. No. He's always seemed like a man who's in his late 50s.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I've certainly never the idea that you're free.
Even if we're just talking about the head alone, it's the head of a late 50-year-old.
Free of hair?
Yeah, totally free of fucking hair.
I'm sort of getting on first name terms with my doctor.
Oh, really?
Chatting more. Oh, what is it this time?
How's your middle finger?
You know.
Not too bad, Carl.
All that sort of thing. So it's just made me think.
Have you had that done for the will, by the way, for insurance?
I think you need to, don't you, for a will?
I think you do.
There's nothing on the
prostate
paper.
exam?
No.
Listen, for insurance purposes, I think you need to have a testicular exam for testicular cancer. You're just leaving the high risk for testicular cancer, actually, and you're entering the high risk for prostate cancer.
And you can have both at the same time?
You could have both at the same time,
time.
if he's a very dexterous doctor.
I wouldn't want that.
Why? Too much like...
It's just too much
painful.
going on. It's like someone juggling you.
Yeah, it's like being examined by Squiddly Diddly.
And so you said you called up your dad?
Called him up. I said, is there anything you want if I die?
Right. And presumably, you know, Suzanne, she's getting the lion's share.
She is. But then the fella who was on the end of the phone talking us through it all was going, oh, you should get married. I was going, oh, shut up. He's saying, well, it makes things a lot easier when it comes to this. And it's like, well, that isn't a reason to get married, is it?
Well...
So she can have all my stuff. I said, I've wrote on a bit of paper that she can have it. I'm not bothered. I'll be dead.
What did you wrote?
You know, that whatever we've got, she can have.
Yeah, great. That's fine. That's as good as a
yeah.
married son,
but it's something about tax. If you're not married, you have to hand over more.
Well, she'll get... yeah, I suppose if it's money, she'll pay tax on it.
Yeah. I think you get so much and then it's like ridiculous tax rate.
Yeah.
But she's going, that's why we should get married, I'm going to be paying tax. I'm going, hang on a minute, she's already like thinking about money loss instead of me disappearing.
Yeah.
She's going, yeah, we should. I'm saying, look, you'll be getting a load of money. I said, if I die on this programme anyway, I'm insured, you'll be getting about £1 million for that.
Yeah.
I said, so that's something you haven't got now.
Yeah.
Got nowhere near that now. I said, so even if you have to pay tax on that,
yeah,
I don't think it'd be right to get married just in case I get killed.
Well, you are married, aren't you?
Well, then you may as well get the paperwork.
No, because then everyone wants a party.
You don't have to have a party, you can go straight down to the registry office.
Honestly, people start going, oh, you should do this, and no, it's not a proper wedding unless you do that.
Have your two sets of parents met?
No.
That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Well, I suppose it's a reason to, isn't it? at least if you're getting married, there's a reason for them to meet. At the moment, there's no reason for them to meet.
No.
They'd get on each other's nerves. My dad wouldn't get on with a man.
Right.
Just wouldn't. She doesn't like me, so she won't like me dad. Because he's just an exaggerated version. So, I think it doesn't need to happen.
But you could just nip down the registry office, get it done and dusted, and you just phone up your folks and say, it's already happened.
I said that. I said, listen, if we had to do it, I said if it was like we've got to do it for some reason, I said I'd do that. We can have it done by 2, you can be back in work for 3. Because at the end of the day, there's no, you know, we've known each other for years.
Yeah.
We're not going to suddenly turn into some sort of Tom Hanks and Ned Ryan film just because we got married. Yeah. It's going to be the same, exactly the same. Yeah. Except she'd want a joint bank account or something. That's the only other thing that would probably change, and I don't like the idea of that.
Why?
Just, I like to know what's going on. There's enough people sticking their hand in my account, charity-wise and all that, without an extra hand going in.
Who happens to be the love of your life?
I'm not moaning about it, I'm just saying it works the way it is. You hear about people getting married, and it doesn't last. Adds extra pressure.
What pressure's it going to add? It's not going to add any pressure.
I suppose that you resent the fact that the only reason you'd be getting married is because she gets your money after your death tax-free.
What if you gave her a series of challenges so that she sort of earned the right to have that money?
It just keeps her on her toes. Because whilst we're not married, it's easy to go, I'm sick of this. So it keeps her
on her toes.
But it keeps us both sort of
because
doing
you're
stuff.
such a find, she's got to work hard to keep you, hasn't she?
You never do anything in order to sort of maintain this relationship, as far as I can tell. I'm not saying you're bad wife, but in terms of romantic Meg Ryan type stuff, you never do anything.
Me and Jane were out with them and Suzanne the other night, right, at dinner, and honestly, he is so grumpy. He was saying about for Christmas, right? He said, you've had a flaw. You've had a flaw. Now, what did that mean?
We had a new floor put in.
But how is that her floor?
Because she wanted it.
But you walk on it too.
I paid for it. I don't understand what you mean.
But don't you understand that, like, a romantic break or clothes or perfumes, sort of things that are kind of indulgent for a lady, that's a gift, not a new floor.
That is like something you give to some little African fella on Comic Relief. In fact, I think I saw it once. He didn't have a floor.
Exactly.
They built him a floor. I remember watching it with you, and they gave him a new pair of shoes and the floor. He went, hold on, floor or shoes, not both. When that tsunami hit, and it was like a month after Christmas, they showed that Britain had given £2 billion, right? He was going, that's enough. He said, before, they were living in mud huts. Now there's an Arndale centre. So you think charity is all right as long as people don't get above their station, the charity?
I think it should be there as a little booster. Something's happened that they didn't expect. They're all a bit in shock. I don't think they'll feel bad because all they ever seem to do, these countries that are struggling, they never give anything back.
Right.
They've always got their hand out. Right. And it's been like that since I was a kid. Yeah. I remember being a kid, people knocking on the door, my mum going, don't look at the door, there's someone there. And we'd just pretend they weren't there.
Charity starts at home, not at your home.
No, but because it's all the time. I mean, my mum didn't like answering the door anyway, even if it was the pools man, she'd sort of say, don't move, and he might not see that we're here.
So you just froze, where a man was at the door?
Well, because the front room was near the door, so people could see in.
Right.
So you just sort of stayed there and pretend that either you
so like some sort of predator, like they can't see if you don't move.
Well, even if he was peering in through the window and he could see you in there not moving.
So he looked through and there was 3 people just frozen, right, like statues, right, just their eyes looking at him, and him confused.
Well, they're clearly dead, I'll move on. There's obviously been a gas leak.
And did you say sitting or stand up, or did you sort of like throw yourself?
No, we just sat on the where you were, and you just stayed still.
But did he ever look in and see?
I don't know. You didn't turn around, did you?
So you would pretend you couldn't hear the door.
It's easy. Honestly, the amount of times people would come round, it's either... It seemed to be the 80s had a lot of it, because it was all the Avon thing, wasn't it? It was perfume, Tupperware.
What?
Tupperware.
Tupperware.
Yeah, the plastic boxes.
It's dishes for fat people. Here we go. These are big. God, they are. They're for fat fuckers like you to eat out of.
There was a Pools man.
Right.
Just a lot of charity stuff. Just a lot. It seemed to be the time, the 80s, that they suddenly found out they can sort of scav money off people.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of scabbing.
So that's why we used to ignore the door.
I just love this image of you.
Yeah.
You're in the lounge, you're having a little boogie, it's Christmas, someone's tapping on the glass. Freeze! They just go, well, we'll move on.
Yeah.
Nothing here for us.
Hammer time. Silence. There's okay, right, let's do the scenario. I'm at the door. I can see you in there. Might as well come open the door. Karl, why are you staying so still? Are you trying to avoid me?
It's working.
Karl, your eyes are moving. Can you come to the door, please?
I suppose in the end you've got to move.
Karl, no, I'm going to stay here. I'm just going to stay here until you have to move. Karl. This is the most pointless podcast we've ever done. Me shouting your name and you pretending not to be here. Okay, and I'll move on then. Right.
It works.
Yeah,
Works perfectly.
Because once they've got you, that's the whole thing with charity. Once they've stopped you in the street, if you've stopped, that's it.
Keeps on going.
You're handing something over.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of times I've been stopped. I mean, the good thing now is you've got an iPod, so you can just either pretend you're on the phone or listen to music.
Or just stay very still. Just freeze. When someone says, can I trouble you for... Oh, he's totally frozen.
That would be amazing, because they're normally in one spot, aren't they?
Yeah.
So it's just
So
they're
as soon
carrying
as
on
they
selling,
stop you,
and
so
you've
you
got to
just
stay there
freeze
for the
it.
rest of it, outside waitress for 7 hours.
Yeah, it goes dark. Well, I'm finished my shift, I'm off. And then you just see, your eyes just see them walk away like that, and they all meet in their little tunics. And then you start walking, they look back, and you freeze. And then they walk on, and then you can go home 7 hours late.
If you would like to donate to Comic Relief, why not visit rednoseday.com. Ever since I was young, I've always liked going in charity shops, particularly because, you know, you find sort of interesting old records in there. Never sort of gone in there to buy clothes and stuff, but, you know, books, whatever. And I was in a charity shop, you know, I've patronised them for years, and I noticed out through the window there was like a paparazzi guy, and he was taking pictures of me through the window. It was a bit weird, and obviously the old ladies in there didn't have any idea who I was, so they just thought it was a bit strange. And then it was in one of the magazines, like the kind of celebrity magazines. Just, oh, here's Steve Merchant. You know, despite all the money he must have made from his various projects, he's still going in charity shops. And you just think, but sorry, how is that a bad thing? I'm giving my money to a charity. Isn't that a noble cause? I mean, obviously that's not the reason I'm doing it. I'm doing it
To save 50p.
to save 50p, of course, but
But they don't know
they
that.
don't know that.
No.
They
You won't be going there and going, keep the change, love. You never have said
Never
that.
said that.
Never said that in your life.
No, occasionally I've shoplift. I'm no mug. 70p? Don't you think that seems frustrating, though, that...
Yeah, but what do you expect? What are they going to do? They're not going to say Steve Merchant heart of gold, are they?
I just thought all these things would slowly accumulate towards the OBE.
Yeah, I know. I think you've got to do a bit more than get Roger Whittaker's greatest hits for 10p.
My mum's always in them, and because my mum goes in them, my dad sort of got into going into them now because, you know, the weather's not good or whatever, and he thinks rather than standing outside. He went in one, and he was after a jacket, just like a sort of a, you know, casual but quite smart.
Yeah.
He's quite a big bloke, so it's difficult to find them, right? So he's in there, sees the jacket, goes, oh look, here's that sort of jacket that I'm after. Picks it up, tries it on. It's good, this, isn't it? She's going, yeah, while she's looking at, you know, a toad that you put money in or whatever.
Yeah.
So he gets to the counter, and it's got a price tag on it, £8, right? So he said, I'll give you £6. He had £6 in his pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you £6 for that. She went, no, it's £8. Now that's wrong, isn't it? That's a good price, and it's £6. They got it for nothing,
Yeah.
and she wouldn't have any of it. He said, surely something's better than nothing. If you don't give me this for 6 quid, it's going back on the hanger. And they said, no, sorry.
Yeah, but they might later sell it for £8.
But they might not, and it's been given to them for free.
Yeah,
so what does it matter?
But the old
Who's
lady's
come up
not...
with the price of £8? Who is this?
Yeah.
They don't know how much it's worth.
She's not there to haggle. Someone's priced out, and she's just a volunteer who's...
Maybe she thought of it that she was losing the charity £2 as opposed to gaining it £6.
But they haven't gained anything because he put it back on, and how many people want it? How many people are looking out for that jacket?
It might have been the principle. She might have thought, oh, you can't haggle when it's for charity.
It was a fair price. I give a lot of stuff to charity. A lot. Most of the time, just because it's nearer than the wheelie bin is. It's just a way of getting rid of garbage most of the time with me. Stick it all in a bin bag, good stuff on the top, the stuff that you're embarrassed about, stick it in the bottom of the bag.
What are you embarrassed about?
Just old shoes, trainers.
Some of the books you've written.
Socks, underpants.
Underpants? You do not give underpants to charity.
Washed.
But who's gonna wash? I know, as opposed to just like peeling them off.
Yeah.
I don't know why you've got a problem with underpants, but shoes. You see, I've
Who's
never bought
buying
shoes.
underpants from a charity shop? No, I mean, I don't care how low you are on the socio-economic level.
I know.
You can get about 14 pairs for £1 in some places.
I know who's buying underpants. I don't know who's buying your underpants. I definitely don't know.
I mean, if they were signed...
Yeah,
that is something I like doing though. When I've given to charity, I like going past the shop and seeing if it made it in the window.
Any success?
Yeah, recently the one not far from here had me egg cups in the window. So it's like, oh look, there's...
What, you've got a new set of egg cups, so you've got rid of your old ones?
Yeah.
I don't think we've got any egg cups.
Haven't you?
No.
Why
I don't
not?
think so. I don't.
You don't have boiled eggs?
I can't imagine you... It would take... You'd be too impatient to boil an egg, Rick.
Well, it's just those things you think of never buying, egg cups, a whisk.
No, but you do eventually.
I suppose you got to, haven't you? Yeah. It's things that were just always there when you grow up, isn't it? That you have to go and you think of, but not second hand though.
But there's nothing wrong. Honestly, it's made the window space. That's how good it was. It had hardly been used, that egg cup, because it was a doubler. And I think they were quite small for the egg size that I get. I think they were made more for the small egg, and I have the large egg.
Right.
So it was never really
just
used.
like your underpants.
But,
Are you ever been a charity shopper, Rick?
Yeah. What I used to do a lot of was records and tapes and things like that. But it ended up sort of being ironic. It really ended up like getting, something like Shane Rich's greatest hits.
Yeah.
And things like that.
a bit of a dilemma that my Aunt Minora had. She likes charity shops as well. She's got a neighbour. Went out to Graceland's, big Elvis fan. They came back. She said, how was Graceland's? I said, oh, it was brilliant. Best holiday we've ever had. Probably go back again. We've got a gift for you, right? They get out this clock, like a little sort of, it's like a Swiss, the Swiss sort of, looks like a little house, like a cuckoo clock. But on the hour, little Elvis comes out the top and goes, ha ha ha. Right? So she went, oh cheers. She's not really into Elvis, she's more into Jim Reeves and Glenn Campbell and stuff. But what can you say? She said, oh thanks for that. She put it in, took it in the house.
Maybe they could get attachments. Maybe you get a little Jim Reeves to pop on the spring. Change it anything you like So Sunday Crew. You can get a little So Sunday Crew, and that pops out, or whatever.
So anyway, it's in the house. She's thinking, I'm not going to put that up. It's not her sort of thing. So thinks, give it to charity, of course. She goes down to the charity shop, gives them that, thinks nothing of it, goes off to the pub for afternoon drink. Anyway, next day she's going out for afternoon drink again. Passes the charity shop. It's in the window.
And the chances are her friends are going to pass by.
That was a dilemma.
Of course.
She had to buy it back.
That's brilliant.
At a hugely inflated price. For those that are American listeners, Comic Relief here is a sort of, it happens every other year, and people often do things in their workplace or at school. They can dress up, they can raise money in different fun ways. And we were told in a school assembly, it was Comic Relief next Friday, everyone has to come along dressed up in fancy dress to school on that day.
Has to?
Yeah, so they have to dress up. They said, you pay 50p towards Comic Relief, and you have to pay £1 if you don't dress up.
That's annoying, isn't it?
So, of course, I'm looking forward to this because, you know, I'm a sort of aspiring comedian and that. Get to dress up like a clown, right? Spent quite a lot of time getting the old clown outfit together.
What did that look like?
The shoes, obviously, I just wore my regular shoes.
Exactly, yeah.
But I had the red nose, a wig,
Wow.
you know, the whole deal. Big bow tie that my mum made for me. Like, you know, I thought this would be the best day ever, right? Get to school. I want you to picture this scene, right? During the assembly in my class of 30. School uniform, school uniform, school uniform, school uniform, school uniform, school uniform. Lanky kid dressed as a clown. School uniform, school uniform, school uniform, school. There was 3 people in the entire school who dressed up.
But Steve, you're 50p.
Yes, but then, worse than that, it turns out I was furious because I look like an utter dick, obviously. It turns out that what happened, I don't know whether I missed this information, but apparently the headmaster must have had another assembly where he told people that he wasn't allowed to enforce that rule about making people pay against their will.
Yeah.
So obviously no one showed up dressed like an utter dick except me and about 2 other knobs.
What disappoints me is that for a man who was a self-professed aspiring comedian, you chose the least funny thing in the world to dress as.
Yeah.
Clowns are anti-comedy. They suck comedy out of the room. It's not...
You're right, and this is from a man who wanted to dress as Hitler at the Golden Globes.
No, that's
He knows funny costumes when he thinks. But you were saying about the guys who bother you in the street. Did I tell you that when I pretended to be foreign to try and get out of that? Did I tell you that story?
Amazing.
Because a technique I used to develop at university was whenever people bothered me in the street, I would pretend to be sort of generic foreign. I can't really do a foreign accent, but I would just be like if someone asked for directions, I was always worried about giving them the wrong directions, so I would just, sorry, I don't really, how you say, you know, it's just kind of vague foreign.
Brilliant.
And I periodically used this method throughout my life. And not so long ago, a guy stopped me with one of those charity tunics, and I sprang into my old trick. I was like, sorry, I don't.
An elderly Russian one.
I don't know what voice that is. I don't know what accent
it went from vaguely French to sort of Eastern European beggar.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. And the guy, and I was like, I don't. He said, well, just let me explain to you about it. Sorry, I'm not from. And the guy,
This world.
Yeah.
I am from planet Snork.
And the guy said, are you Stephen Merchant?
No.
Swear to God.
Not when you were famous.
Oh, yeah.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, because it hadn't occurred to me. It was like a lapse of concentration.
God.
It was a lapse of concentration because,
And did your bow tie spin round and you squirted in the water and ran away? That's what I did, Dad.
because, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, you don't always remember that you've been on the team. It's not like I instantly remembered that.
Amazing.
So he says, are you Steve Merchant? And then you're at this position where you've got to go, either you've got to admit what you did, or you've got to carry on the lie. And I chose the second one. So I was kind of like, I don't know who that is. What? I don't know what you're... And he was like, really? You look a lot like him. I was going, I've never heard, I don't.
In fact, you are Stephen Merchant. Freeze.
I'm always getting stopped for I mean, there's so many charities now. Anything. I think that's the other problem, actually, that there's so many now. Years ago, a problem wouldn't have been a problem, whereas today, it's someone's got this problem, someone's got OCD, and we're collecting for that.
Right.
It's not just starving people anymore; it's everything.
Yeah.
One little fault, they're out there with a clipboard.
Yeah, a lot
asking
of new diseases have popped up, particularly for these sort of rich and famous diseases that really very more people do not suffer from.
So I was in W.H. Smith's probably buying a Valentine's card.
Oh, okay.
So there you go, you see. So I do a bit. And
is this the cheapest one you've got, love?
and I bought a big bar of like Galaxy.
Oh, cheaper than a box of chocolates, but yeah, still nice.
For me, because they had an offer on, right?
Oh,
this is what I'm saying.
Okay, she's getting a card, isn't
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I felt awkward because she could see that, he must have some money.
What, a big bar of
Because you
Galaxy,
could afford some chocolate.
Well, it was like an impulse buy thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So she's thinking, he's got money to burn.
Yeah.
So at first I didn't know who she was.
There's a guy over there buying a big bar of Galaxy and a small card. Yeah, follow him.
So she's there. I'm thinking she just works in WH Smith's.
Yeah.
Morning, sir. All right, how's it going? Oh, have you got a minute? So I'm thinking, is it WH Smith saying, how often do you buy the Galaxy? Because they always do sort of surveys and stuff. So she said, you like chocolate? I went, yeah. She said, yeah, I'll have a chocolate. Right? Little chocolate.
Yeah.
I ate it.
Yeah.
Then she goes, right, are you aware of the problems in the world? So I'm thinking, what's this? You see, they've been clever there.
Yes.
I can't say no and walk off without a bit of chocolate.
Sure.
Right.
So,
Why don't you freeze? Just freeze.
We're closing up now. We're closing the shop.
So I said, there's loads of problems, I'm sick of it. So she says...
no, not yours, sir. There are some people who are starving.
Yeah, and I explained to her, I said, listen, I've got loads of these charities every month. I said, my bank account is literally... Because I don't use my current bank account that much. So you look at it with a statement, it's like Tools for Africa.
Right.
Help the Aged. Deaf Kids. There's another one.
.com, deafkids.com.
There's loads.
Is Tools for Africa when they send people like Karl over to help out?
Yeah, that is Comic Relief. Tools for Africa is another name for Comic Relief if you watch it.
So anyway, I said, I do all this. She's going, that's very good of you, but, we need your money as well. So she's saying, just as much as you can afford, every little helps and everything. I've been here all day. Look, as you can see, I haven't had much luck. It's not that busy in the shop, blah, blah. Oh, all right then, right? So I give her the details. She looks at the amount. She goes, right, now the options are, you can tick the £5 box, the £10 box, the £20 box, the £50 box. This is a monthly payment.
Right.
She said, well, I'll put you down for a tenner. Forget the fiver. She just leapfrogged that straight away. Yeah. You can't go back, can you? Because then you feel bad.
Sure.
To sort of go, well, you've got a £5 one there, tick that one.
Yeah.
She can see I've got the chocolate, sort of wasting money on things that aren't necessary when there's people dying around the world.
Yeah.
I said, right, yeah, tenner, fine. And, I filled it all out. I left the shop.
Yeah.
Spent more on that than I did on the card and the chocolate.
Mm-hmm. Right. So you spent under £10 then, basically.
So I get home and everything. Forget about it. I keep seeing these statements going out. It looks like Gandhi's bank account. The amount of stuff I'm giving away for charities.
Sure.
I forget about it though. Forget it. I'm doing my bit for charity. I should feel good about it. Yeah. Anyway, something kicks off in the world.
Right.
Ring, 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 ring. Oh. Hello? Is that Mr. Pilkington? Straight away I'm thinking, who's this? This isn't good.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, it's so-and-so charity.
Right.
Are you aware of the problems in the world? I said, yes, I am. There's lots of them. Yeah, but have you heard about the latest one? I said, yeah. She went, well, I'm just calling up to say thanks for the donation that you give us every month, but it's not enough. So I said, yeah, well, I think I give enough. I said, you're not the only ones here. I said, I've got 5 charities on the go here.
Yeah.
I said, I've given you what I can afford. Yeah. She's going, yeah, but let me just tell you about the problems. There's so many people missing here. This is bad. These are dying. Da, da, da. I'm going, I know. I was told all this when I signed up, and I agreed to that amount. Yeah. The £10 that I said I'm happy to give you, that's what I can afford. Call some other people up who aren't giving you a tenner.
Yeah.
She goes, no, but we haven't got their numbers, and we understand that you're a supporter of our charity, and, just a little bit more will help. I said, listen, I can't. I've given you that amount. If you want, if it's not enough, let's stop the direct debit now.
Right.
I said, if it's not helping you, let's can it, and I'll give it to deafkids.com. I said, because they're not calling up mithering.
No.
Well, they can.
That's good for you, So she said, no, I don't want to do that. I said, well, that's it then. And she wouldn't let it go. And in the end, she got an extra £1.50 off me.
Right.
But that shouldn't be allowed. I think they should have, 1 year where they go, this year, hungry people.
Right.
Next year, people with a limp. Or just like they do with the China thing, with the year of the cat, year of the rabbit. It's very clear.
Yeah.
It's that year. That's who we're helping this year.
Right.
If you've got that problem, it's your year. You're going to have a good one.
And who decides?
Just have some meeting. Just have a meeting.
But who gets together in the meeting?
What would be the first year? What would be the first year? This year?
Right, well, we'd look at it and we'd go, right, what are we hearing a lot of problems about? And someone goes, so-and-so's hungry. Go, right, are we all in? Are we in to give this lot food? And we're not just going to give them food.
So it's not everyone who's hungry, it's specific people. So it's like hungry...
Starving, people who are starving. If someone goes, I've got, I don't know, What's another problem?
Adenoids.
Me kid's deaf. Well, maybe next year. Maybe next year. It's not your turn this time. We can't help everyone at once. Because that's life, isn't it? You've got to give and take in your own life. There's things that I want, I can't have, do without, have something else.
But there's so many causes that
But that's what I'm saying, Steve.
before your charity
I know, but what can you do then? Because we're not sorting it all out anyway.
I'm paraplegic.
Right?
Oh, I need help really bad. I'm paraplegic.
But so does everyone else.
Well, why are you giving us the hungry now?
Because if we don't help the hungry now, they can't wait. You can wait.
Right. Oh God, I'm blind.
Is this a different person then?
Yeah, I'm blind.
Right, well, you're not hungry though, are you?
Well, a bit peckish.
Yeah, well...
Where's the fridge? I can't find the fridge. Can you help me to the fridge?
Yeah.
Otherwise I'll be hungry as well. I'm blind and hungry. I'm blind and hungry because I don't know where the fridge is.
Who's like you in?
But Carl, this is just a chaotic idea. It's chaotic because people who are hungry, there's always going to be people who are hungry.
Yeah, but then...
You're not going to just... Because there's always going to be new people.
Yeah. But I sort the problem out.
They've eaten all the food. It doesn't last forever, the food,
But
Carl.
I sort it out properly.
How do you sort it out?
Because I'll go, right, not only are we just giving you food,
right,
we're giving you some seeds. We're giving you a pan.
What, do you think they haven't thought of that? Let me
hear the theory, please.
Right.
Sort it out. Don't just give food. That's going to run out.
Right.
Give them a proper... You see, the problem is, these companies who jump on the back of all... Do you know when I was in the jungle? When I was in the jungle, right? On that travel thing?
Yeah.
I was in that tribe, right? Now, some company had given that tribe a laptop because it makes them look good. They can send out a press release. Well done to so-and-so computers.
Right.
They supplied the tribe in, out at Amazon with a computer. I saw it. They were using it as a breadboard because they don't know what it is. They've got no electric. It's useless to them.
Right.
And that's what charity does.
Right.
Companies use it to make them look good. When I was there and I really needed to go to the toilet, I was thinking, tribe, I wonder what their toilet facilities are like, right? Thinking it might be better than just doing it in a hole. Surely they've built a toilet. They're not stupid people. They kill animals. They know what they're doing. They know how to cook. Surely they've built some sort of unit. Turns out they don't. They still do it in a hole. But some company had been there, some plumbing firm, and given them a toilet, right? The bloke who, the producer who was out there, he said, you'll be happy. There's a toilet round the back there. I'm thinking, brilliant. I go round there, it is a toilet, but it's not plumbed in.
Sure.
So it's just a vase with shit in it. It doesn't work, and this is what we need to do. We need to get out there and say, this is how it works. Educate them.
Okay, so let's do this then. So it's with the seeds. You're not giving me a... so I'm a starving African. Hello, Carl. Have you got any food? Got any food? Got any sandwiches?
Well, I have, but if I give you my sandwich, there's someone else behind you, and they'll all come out.
So what are you going to do then? What are you going to do?
I'm going to help you.
How? What are you going to do?
I'm going to make you think about how to make food.
Oh, okay, right.
Have you ever grown anything before?
No.
Right, well, here's some seeds for potatoes.
Brilliant. Oh, thanks, Carl. See you later. Do I just put them in the ground, yeah?
Put them in the ground and water them.
Oh, there's no water, you dopey cunt.
There is some
No,
water.
there's no water, you dopey cunt. That's why we're starving, you dopey cunt.
Right, well, at that point, that's where I go, well, this is a lost cause here.
Right.
There's no point.
Can I have a sandwich after all?
No,
or
you're
what?
not having it. You're
right,
not having it.
So not only can I have a sandwich, you've given me seeds with no water, you useless, bald-headed fucking twonk.
Right, but all I've done there is made the mistake of the computer firm who's given a laptop to a tribe.
Right.
It's useless.
Right.
But there's got to be another way around this.
Go on, then.
Either move,
right?
Because every year they're going to be queuing up saying, "I'm hungry, give me a sandwich." No, you're not having another sandwich.
Once again, it's utterly ill-informed discussion.
I'm just saying, there's no point queuing up every year. Do you want a sandwich? Here's a sandwich. The next year, can I have a sandwich? Where's your brother? He died. It's not sorting anything, it's buying him an extra day, an extra month or something.
But
it's
Carl, the
pointless.
point is, like Ricky's just flagged up, is that some of these countries, the conditions...
He died!
The conditions are not there to just be able to plant potato seeds.
So what are they meant to do then? Do you think we should go out every month, every year with sandwiches? Is that your answer, like some sort of buffet, an all-you-can-eat thing once a year? You see, it is bad. I don't want to come across harsh. They've got nothing. We waste stuff here. Waste annoys me just as much.
Right.
When I see sandwich shops chucking stuff out in bin bags, binning it, when there's people out there who are hungry, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I don't understand.
Right.
It's a problem that isn't being solved.
So your conclusion for these people, because there's no water where they are, right, is move. That is your honest. They should move.
Well, what's your solution?
Well, I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs. I don't even pretend to know. But
I tell you, it's not just it's sticking a, what's that saying? I don't know, sort of sticking a plaster over a hole or something, and the plaster comes off, it's a problem again.
that's the saying. Yeah.
It's the same.
I think that was Mark Twain. No.
Sounds more like Gurney. If you would like to donate to Comic Relief, why not visit rednoseday.com.
Oh, I've got to tell you something, Steve, that cropped up when we were at dinner the other night. Karl said the most exciting words. He said, I've had another film idea.
Wow. Does it star Clive Warren?
No, it doesn't. It's gone bigger than that.
Well,
Karl, turn the film idea.
Yeah, but you slagged it off from that.
No, I was just trying to... We're all chipping in saying, well, that, they're all trying to help.
No, Suzanne... You see, you had a go, and then Suzanne thought, I'm going to have a go here as well. If I'd have told her that at home, she'd just go, that'd be that. But suddenly, James chipping in. Everybody was having a go. Yeah, I didn't see anyone else coming up with anything.
Well, they didn't realise it was a script editing meeting.
Yeah, they just thought it was a dinner.
They just saying,
No, I tell you why it cropped up. I saw it. It was another thing in that free paper.
Yep.
It was something about, the way we're advancing fast.
Right.
Which reminded me of the, my film, The Love of Two Brains and stuff.
How's that? Is that being made yet? Has there been any...
And it was just saying, about how bodies can get reused. In a way, recycling is the ultimate.
What did it say about that though? Because you didn't go into that. What
it was hinting at bodies being reused.
When you say hinting, you saw a bit of a headline, didn't read on.
No, what?
And made the rest up in your head.
No, it was scientists saying in the future. It's that old thing. In the future, this is what we're going to do.
Do you mean like Frankenstein being reused, old body parts fusing together?
Yeah, but that was all different. It was like a short arm and a long leg, and that. This is a full body.
Right. So pitch the film idea to me.
Yeah.
Sell it to me like I'm a Hollywood executive. Sell me the film.
Right. Well, I'll probably tell you about the science facts there that I've read.
Okay, let's start from scratch then. Thank you so much, Karl, for coming in. We heard there was a rumour that you're dealing with a British film company about a thing with a man with two brains with a guy called Clive Warren we haven't heard of, but Rebecca De Mormay. We're very excited about it because she wouldn't be a lot to get, so this film wouldn't cost much.
Right, so like I say, I've read they're going to be sort of the ultimate in recycling. If anything happens to the brain, they can reuse the body. You've got to remember that. Fantastic. By the time this film is made, that's probably going to be bigger news.
Yep.
Fantastic. So it'd be great if it can coincide.
No, we love that. We love this sort of research. We love this level of research. It's exciting.
So what I was thinking is, I'm picturing probably, it doesn't matter, it's not as fixed, it doesn't have to be this person, but I'm thinking Tom Cruise.
Okay, Cruisey, yeah.
Excellent, yeah.
And the way it works is...
Do you know Tom, by the way, or have you got an in there, or...?
No.
Okay, but you just...
I think it's the sort of film
that would appeal to Tom.
He'd sort of be into. I think it would be exciting.
Okay.
Okay.
So...
Did we order coffees?
What?
Did Cheryl get you a coffee?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's great.
So...
Are you hungry at all? Do you want to...
No.
No? Great.
So...
Cheryl, I might have a tea, actually. Cheryl, if you could...
Will we wait for the teas before she comes in?
She'll just sneak in. She will be very quiet. She'll be like a doormat. She won't even know she's coming.
Okay.
You've got your coffee. I don't want tea. You don't want anything.
No, I'm fine.
Go.
Actually, I will have a tea, actually, Cheryl.
2 tea, Cheryl.
Okay, go.
Right.
Thanks, Cheryl.
Is there sugar? Sorry, is there sugar in this, Cheryl?
Shut the door behind you. Thank you. Okay.
Go.
All the way. Go.
Tom Cruise. So I got Tom Cruise. That's what I pictured so far.
He's just done Mission Impossible 7.
Right.
in this film.
Oh, in the film.
So he's playing himself?
No, what you're seeing on the screen is Mission Impossible 7. Like I say, if we don't get Cruise, it can be Bourne Identity, and it can be what's it?
Yeah.
Oh, so if we get Cruise, he is playing himself.
Yeah.
And he's just made
And in this film, he's just made Mission Impossible 7. It's the future, is it? This.
No, what you're seeing
Right.
is Mission Impossible 7 on the screen.
So I've gone into the cinema and I think I'm going in to see Mission Impossible 7, or I'm going in knowing it's this film.
Yeah.
So I'm going in to see...
Okay, what's this film called?
I haven't got a title yet.
We'll just call it Karl Pilkington Project 2.
Right.
Okay.
So
KP2.
you go in. The opening thing is Mission Impossible 7. You think I've seen this?
Yeah,
I thought it was just KP2.
Yeah, I'm confused. Yeah.
Excuse me. I came in to see KP2. No, this is not the film I came to see. I'm talking to the usher. I'm talking to the usher. No, this is the film. It's just what you're seeing is Mission Impossible 7. I don't understand.
Right, listen. So what happens is then it sort of pans out. You see it's a telly. There's a bloke watching Mission Impossible 7. Right. His girlfriend's watching it going, oh, I love Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
He's there going, I can't be doing with him. He's
So
over
it
there.
is set in the future, though, this? Because we're assuming that he's made 7, so this is a...
Yeah.
How far in the future is it?
Well, when will Mission Impossible 7 be made?
I don't know. Probably about 2 years, the way it's going.
Right, so, 2013.
Okay. Right. And this is underway then, is it? This practice of recycling the body?
Yeah, by then it's well known that it's out there as scientific.
Let's not get bogged down in a lot of these things we can iron out, as I say, in the script.
So you see Mission Impossible 7 on the
Cheryl, are
screen.
any of those biscuits still knocking around?
Do you want to do this meeting?
Yes, I do. Sorry, he's a bit easily distracted, but I will have a biscuit as well, Cheryl. Okay, I've been watching the film. It's Mission Impossible 7. It's pulled out. There's a guy in his room, in his lounge.
His girlfriend's watching it. She's loving it. She's a fan of Tom Cruise.
Right.
He's a little bit niggled. He wanted to watch something else.
Sure.
She decided on the DVD. He sat there annoyed. I can't be dealing with Tom Cruise. I can't believe they've made 7 of these films.
Right.
He's a rubbish actor. I should be the actor. You know, I've been doing acting for years.
But he's not an actor.
Well, he is.
Okay.
But he hasn't quite made it. He's in pantos. He's sending a lot of demos off. But he's just not being seen.
I remember this was one of our notes to make it more plausible, this film, because you didn't know it was an actor before, did you?
Yeah, well, this is how it works, isn't it?
Right, interesting.
Yeah, well, you two don't know about that meeting, do you?
Right, okay.
So,
he's a struggling actor.
So what happens is, next day they get up, right?
Yeah.
She's still going on about Tom Cruise.
Loves him.
Thinks I'm sick of him. Right? She loves him.
My biscuits gone in my tea. I left it in there too long.
Just hang on, let me just think.
Can I get the spoon, please?
Yeah, sure.
It's all gone. So soggy. Soggy.
Cheryl, can we get some more of those biscuits in here, please?
Do you want to weigh more? Or?
Yeah, I'd love to
Yeah,
hear
I'd
it,
love
please.
to,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
conscious that Colin Firth's coming in. He's won an Oscar, so...
And he's got an idea about a print with a
Right.
palette.
Anyway, listen. So, what happens is, he gets so annoyed with his girlfriend liking Tom Cruise. He plans to kill him.
So he plans to kill Tom Cruise.
This is new,
Now, this man is a Johnny actor. He's obviously based in the UK because he's in Panto. So he flies to Hollywood.
No, the equivalent of that.
Oh, he's based
sort
in
of-
the. He's based in
Yeah,
America.
he's a bit part player.
Yeah.
So he sees Tom Cruise. He kills him somehow. Now, it's some way.
Right, how does he kill him? Because this is all new to me.
I don't want to put everything
Because
down on
again,
paper. This is just a
in
rough
the original
idea.
pitch in the restaurant, Tom Cruise just dies on the set of Mission Impossible
I
7.
see, right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
okay.
All right.
So he dies in the film in Mission Impossible 7. They're doing that thing on the strings.
Right.
He cuts, he lands.
Right.
His body is in perfect condition.
So hold on.
But how is she watching the film?
Yeah, did they put it out even after Tom Cruise died?
No, sorry. He was filming Mission Impossible 8.
So he's
filming the next one.
They filmed the next one. Mission Impossible 8. Okay, sure.
He's annoyed. He's going, I can't believe they're making more of these films.
Right.
I can't get a gig, and yet you're churning this crap out.
Yeah. Okay.
So he's on his springs,
On his wires, yeah.
on his wires.
Yeah.
An accident
Spring
happens.
sounds better. He's bouncing around.
Like a baby growth.
Yeah.
The strings cut, smash, Tom Cruise dead. Right.
Right.
The bloke hears this on the radio, on the news.
Yeah.
The girlfriend's fella hears it on the news. He can't believe it. He's like, yeah. Takes his eye off the road a little bit in the celebration. Truck ploughs into the car. Right?
So he's killed as well?
Well, is he?
Okay.
Little interlude. Fades up. Comes out of... You're seeing it out of his eyes. You see his eyes sort of opening. You know, when you're seeing out the eyes, you see the eyelids. And you see his girlfriend there sort of looking at him like a bit startled. Sure. And he's going, oh, what happened? And she's going, it's all right, it's all right. And he's going, oh, get me a mirror. She's going, I don't want to get you a mirror yet.
Okay.
Hold on, what's going on?
You've had a bad accident.
Oh, probably terribly disfigured, is he?
This is what he's thinking. Oh, how bad do I look?
Scarred, burned.
You know, you fancy that Tom Cruise. Oh, no, I gone the other way. She's going, it's all right, it's all right.
It can't be relevant, though, that Tom Cruise was killed at the same time. I don't need to think about Tom Cruise. I'll put it out of my mind.
Anyway.
What's he going to look
all mirrors out of the room and everything. He's just learning to walk. He's going, why can't I look in a mirror? And the doctor's going, no point.
Yeah.
No point. You've got to get used to this body. What do you mean?
It's great that Tom Cruise did just do a small cameo at the beginning of this film.
It's good as well, because we're seeing it through the... What's the voice like, by the way? The bloke's voice?
It's the same.
Just the same as it was earlier. So the whole thing is through his eyes. I haven't seen his face.
No.
Then he gets walking. It's almost time to go home.
Yep.
His girlfriend comes in.
Yep.
It's her job to tell him the news.
Oh my God, what's the news?
She says, there's a mirror, look in there. He looks in it. Yeah. He's Tom Cruise.
Right.
Because he had his accident on the set. He had the accident. They ended up in the hospital.
Right.
Quick, we've got to act quick. This is the time. This is the future.
Right.
Where they
can use
bodies, all the rest of it.
So Tom Cruise is dead.
Tom Cruise dead. This bloke
his body's squashed, but what's his name, Brian?
Yeah.
But Brian's brain is in Tom Cruise's body. Just a donor body. He just happens to.
That's how it is.
It's just meat. It's
just like a lung donor,
exactly.
a heart donor.
Yeah. So this is
tiny.
Brian. He just looks like Tom Cruise now. He's got Tom Cruise's flesh.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Now, at first, initially, he's annoyed.
But his
like,
voice, the voice is still the same as his was, even though it's got Tom Cruise's mouth.
He's got a bit of both.
A little bit different.
But okay, sorry, just practically, who is doing the voiceover then for the?
It's Tom now.
So Tom's sort of doing an impression of this actor.
Brian's inside Tom.
His name is Brian, but when you look at it on the telly, when the camera woozes round, and you see him sat in his bed, it's Tom Cruise.
Sure.
Right. Okay.
His girlfriend's over the moon because she loves Tom Cruise.
Right.
He's gutted because he couldn't stand him. He can't stand the films. He's thinking.
Yeah, but he must be thinking, I look like Tom Cruise, one of the most loved actors of his generation.
No, you think so, but he's not because he's in shock. Remember, he was expecting to see himself when he looks in the mirror.
Yeah, that must be shocking. Yeah.
So he's going, I can't stand this, and she's going, calm down, you'll get used to it. I don't want to get used to it. And she's sort of saying, look, you're alive.
Right.
Stop moaning.
Yeah.
Stop moaning, Brian. She's calling him Brian, I assume.
She says...
And Tom Cruise just had a sort of donor card that allowed his body to be given away, did it?
Yeah, it's the future.
Right.
This is 2013, Steve. Things have changed.
Clearly.
Right. What's his girlfriend's name?
Claire.
Claire and Brian. Okay, great. Just a different body, just a slightly different look.
All right, so he's seen that he looks like Tom Cruise. He's shocked, but he's getting used to it?
He doesn't look like him. He is him.
Okay.
No, he's not him. He's Brian, isn't he?
Yeah, but to most people, it's when he leaves the hospital.
They go, oh, Tom, I thought you were
they're
dead.
all going, it's Tom. He's going,
really?
oh, yeah, and he's going, oh, I knew this would happen. It's doing me head in.
Are there paparazzi? Do the paparazzi think it's Tom?
No. Let him explain. Sorry, mate, because you weren't. So I want to hear this story.
This is weird though, because so he looks like Tom Cruise.
So he wheels out. He's in a wheelchair. Okay. He's going, I'm sick of this. The other patients are going, Tom, I thought you were dead. And he's going, yeah. And he's annoyed. He gets in the car. He gets out there.
Right.
And he sees a poster up on the side of the road for Mission Impossible 8.
Hold on, though. It's finished. I thought he died while they were filming.
It's not finished. But now, these days, he's shouting about films before they're made.
Okay,
it's like Lord of the Rings, isn't it? Yeah, they're going, Lord of the Rings is in the making. And they're going, brilliant, and all the hype and everything.
That seems premature.
No, the poster was already up.
That seems premature, given that a man died during the production.
It doesn't matter.
I've taken the posters down, but then I don't work in Hollywood.
Right. So the poster's up there, and he sees it as he's in the car driving past.
Yeah.
And he thinks, that can't be finished. So they both look at each other. This is your chance. You wanted to be an actor. This is the chance.
Yeah.
Right.
Go back to the studio. So he goes in. hello, you don't know me? And they go, oh, we think you do. And they go, no, you don't. I'm Brian. Tom died on your film set.
Well, they must know that. They must know that Tom Cruise is dead. Because his family must have been...
All right, if you want, it makes no difference. We can tweak the script.
No. You have, because before he was a plumber, by the way. It was a plumber who was turning up going, I'm going to finish Mission Impossible 8. So that was...
I'd much prefer that. I can sort out your lavatory.
You get the idea.
Right, no, we don't get the idea. So this is... Brian has turned up looking like Tom Cruise. He said the film company, right, who must know that Tom Cruise died on their film set. What were they going to do?
They would have had to wrap it up. They would have had to say...
You said they put the posters are up.
Yes, the posters are up before they've even finished.
So they're cancelling the film until he walks
Basically, yeah.
Oh, so they are cancelling the film?
They're cancelling it.
Okay, so we're afraid that production has stopped on Mission Impossible 8 due to the death of Tom Cruise.
Hang on a minute.
What?
I'm Brian.
Who's Brian? Oh my God, you look exactly like Tom Cruise. Oh, have they done that thing where they put Brian's brain in Tom Cruise's body?
Yeah.
But it's not Tom Cruise. You can't act like him.
I'm an actor.
Yeah, but he was good because he was like one of the best actors.
He's not that good. I never rated him.
Yeah, but a lot of people did. And
a lot of people didn't. So let me bring in a new audience for you, eh? I can bring a bit to this.
Right.
So the film people. So just tell me what happens. Do they sign up the new guy? They sign
is
up
it in the news? It must be in the news. That
but
Tom
are they
Cruise
pretending that it's really Tom?
No,
that Tom survived?
They can't do that.
No.
But they're quite unscrupulous.
So they've told the world that Brian is taken over. Brian, right? He used to be a plumber, but it's now...
Brian, who has no surname. By the way, he's like the Donald Share.
Exactly. Yeah. So Brian, right? Is that Brian?
It's above the title. Brian.
I bet it's Brian with a Y.
Brian with a Y in
Brian.
Mission Impossible 8.
This won't work. Where's Tom Cruise? It's not the same.
So this, of course, gives it a boost because
the flagging franchise is being rejuvenated.
The press, the news that's out there.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise in his new film.
Well, it's not Tom Cruise. They can't say that.
Well, it is though. When you look at him, you go, "Oh, it's Tom Cruise."
Well, no, you got to say a bloke that looks like Tom Cruise.
The body of Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
The acting ability of Brian. In a new movie.
Mission Impossible 8, starring the bones and skin and stuff of Tom Cruise with Brian's brain.
Do you like Tom Cruise's face, but not his acting? Then you'll enjoy Mission Impossible 8.
Oh, Mission Impossible 8. From the people who brought you the first 7, and the hair of the bloke who was in the first 7, but with Brian doing all the lines. It's Brian. It's some guy I've never heard of. I'm not the 7th sequel.
No, wait, sorry, I really want to hear the ending of this movie. Please let me ask questions. You had your chance to ask me questions.
Right.
So where are we? In a sort of 90-minute running time of a movie, where are we now in the film? Are we about two-thirds of the way through?
We're close to the end.
Okay. So Mission Impossible 8 has been made. So what's the end of our movie? Not Mission Impossible 8, but the movie you're making. What's the ending there?
Do we ever get to see him in Mission Impossible 8?
Yeah, but I think what happens is he becomes the person who he never liked.
Right.
And it's I just want to get across the moral that who are we? Are we the people in our body or the people we look like? What's important in life? Is it the way you look or the way you think? And he changes because he looks like Tom Cruise. He becomes the man he never liked.
But you see, to me, just from the outsider's point of view, even if I was to accept all the other premise of this movie, which is clearly horseshit, what would have been more interesting is that they don't tell the world that it's a new guy, that they tell the world it's Tom and they've brought him back to life.
He'll have that.
That seems more interesting because then there's tension, they're lying to the world, and this guy, he's getting the glory that he always wanted as an actor, but he's lying, and that's a more interesting tension. Is he going to declare, actually, I'm not really Tom, I'm Brian, I've been lying to you all, and that seems like a more interesting dilemma. Instead, we've brought back the walking corpse of Tom Cruise with another man's mind. I mean,
but I think
if the whole world's accepting of that...
No, but you do want to see that. I think a lot of people just want to see it for that morbid factor of, my God.
Yeah, but you're saying... But this is... You mean they want to see your film because of this morbid factor?
Yeah, this is a fiction.
This is a fiction. This didn't really happen. You mean the final act of the film is us seeing Mission Impossible 8, starring the real Tom Cruise playing just his own cadaver? And, I mean, it's an Oscar-winning performance from Tom. I don't know how he's keeping in check who he is.
Oh, what's his girlfriend think of this?
Who's?
Brian's.
She's loving it, isn't she? Because she always liked Tom Cruise. She's over
What did
me.
Brian look like, just out of interest?
He's just sort of an older looking.
Well, who would play him? Who would play him in this film?
Probably. It's got to be American. I'm not. What's his name? The bloke who was in Cheers, probably.
Ted Danson.
Ted Danson.
So Ted Danson is Brian. So Claire, right?
This is so confusing because Ted Danson's supposed to be someone that we've never heard of, even though he's Ted Danson, and Tom Cruise is playing himself, the famous actor Tom Cruise, who is now inhabited by Ted Danson, who's not Ted Danson.
Ted Danson as Brian.
Ted Danson as Brian, as Tom Cruise, as Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible 8. Wow.
So, have you got a title yet?
No. No, I just wanted to know if you're in.
Surely the wife of Brian.
The wife of Brian.
Who's played Claire?
I'm up for you. You know, that's why I've come to you. I thought
That's
you'd
an
know.
obvious suggestion.
Okay, so-
Rebecca
okay.
De Mornay.
Okay. Yeah.
She is so hot after The Love of a Brain, or whatever it was called.
You wanna go where everybody knows your name is Brian. Well, that's about it for this special free guide to in aid of Red Nose Day, Comic Relief.
If you have enjoyed this, or even if you haven't, please make a contribution, big or small, to Comic Relief. You can visit rednoseday.com to do that. We'd appreciate it. Little Richard Curtis would appreciate it. He's definitely going to get an OBE at some point, if not a knighthood.
Yeah, give him both. Carl, look at it this way. Supposing people come to this, they didn't like The Office, Extras, me, Steve, Idiot Abroad, The Ricky Gervais Show. They didn't like any of that, but they thought, hold on, they're doing something for charity. I'll check this out. They've had a whale of a time. They've laughed at everything. They're going to go and buy all the guides still available on iTunes now.
That is shameless. Also, I'm doing a live stand-up comedy tour at the end of the year.
You can check out the details on rickygervais.com. Just do something for charity, or not. It's up to you. So it's goodbye from me, Ricky Gervais, and thank you. Goodbye from Stephen Merchant.
Goodbye.
And from the little round-headed buffoon that is Karl Pilkington, it's a goodbye.
All right.
Big thank you to Positive Internet. Those guys make these little free podcasts possible. Good guys.
Hello, I'm Ricky Gervais. To some, society is a cage, trapping and oppressing free-thinking individuals. But to others, society offers essential structure and regulation, preventing anarchy in the worst excesses of human behaviour. Each society has its own codes of conduct, ways of doing things. But who decides these social norms, and how are they governed? From the formative democracy of ancient Greece to the communist totalitarianism of Soviet Russia, history has shown us that there are as many forms of society as there are people to populate them. To discuss society and our place within it, I'm joined by Stephen Merchant, award-winning writer and graduate of the University of Warwick.
Hello.
And Karl Pilkington. You know the score, little round-headed twat.
Right.
In ancient Greece, every year, 500 people would be selected from that Grecian society, and they would have to sit there that year, and they would propose laws, and everyone else would vote on them. And that was their obligation. They were obliged to be one of that 500. It'd be like jury duty, called up, and then they had to propose their ideas, and then the rest of the citizens voted on it. Now, if you're in that position, right, you're called up What rules and laws are you instigating?
You might go, right, I want an egalitarian society. I want freedom for people. I don't want slavery. I don't want any sort of oppression. Would that be high on your list?
Well, you could say, you know, when I worked at Cordon Bleu, there was times when I thought being treated like a slave here.
You weren't though, because you were being paid and you were free. So.
What do you mean? I wasn't free. I was on like from 9 till 6.
You had the choice to leave the job. Slaves didn't have the choice to leave. They wouldn't go. They go, well,
didn't have any choice.
Actually, Mr. Jackson, I'm thinking of leaving your employment.
No,
the money's no good, and I don't like the clothes. No. They didn't have that choice.
I didn't have a choice.
Yeah, you did.
The only other choice was Tesco, and they'd already turned me down.
No, that's not. That wasn't
no choice.
That wasn't the lack of choice given to most
But the slaves who built the pyramids, that wasn't an option for them. It wasn't like that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
No, you're not saying anything. You're saying absolute drivel.
Here's a little Greek proverb for you. A society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they know they shall never sit in.
What do you think of that? That's amazing.
Can you say it again?
Say it again.
A society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they know they shall never sit in. Do you understand?
Yeah, just saying they're planting a seed, they grow a tree, but the trees take ages.
Yeah.
It takes a long time.
Yeah.
That old fella's not going to get any joy out of that.
Right.
But if he's lucky,
yeah,
the fella next door might have done the same years ago. So it's all about sort of planting a seed, looking after each other.
That's great, actually. It's not. I don't think it's directly what it means.
It's almost the point.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I think he means to future generations. But yeah, if the next door neighbour had done that, then yeah, that works as well.
But you seem to agree that that's a good point. Do you agree that seems a good point to you?
But I'm sort of guessing he enjoyed gardening anyway. Part of the enjoyment was in planting that seed.
It's the old metaphor problem again, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not specifically about trees. You know, you plant the tree, as you say, and you may never see the beauty of or the benefit of that tree, but other people will.
But as a metaphor, what he enjoyed is the fact that he's added to society and human life, and he's got a legacy and all that.
But by the same time, when I went to Ibiza, right, now there they have motorbikes, people flying around on them, people don't wear helmets. You might even get 3 people on a moped. I saw a farmer with a goat in a basket. They don't care. They're whizzing around at high speeds. A lot of deaths there.
Yeah.
And they'll have a lot of them see those areas where someone's come off, been killed, people put flowers there.
Yeah.
And because that happens a lot, it's a lovely green island. Now here, we're saying wear an helmet.
You're saying that all the deaths make it nice because there's flowers.
It makes it lovely.
There's loads of flowers.
So with death comes beauty. So that's another metaphor, you can have that one.
That was one of the most tortuous things I've ever... That was extraordinary.
Well, look at London.
That was extraordinary, Carl.
Right, Carl.
Well, look at London, though. Let me finish my point.
Let him finish his point. I'm intrigued.
Right, London, councillor with his clipboard. Need a speed bump here. I saw someone doing 35. Put some traffic lights there and a pedestrian crossing. Pelican crossing there as well. And a speed camera.
Right.
Horrible and grey. No flowers.
But you still see flowers left behind where people have died in terrible accidents.
They're not very good ones. They're stuck to a lamppost with elastic band round them. They don't look nice.
He's knowing the quality of flowers. Yeah, but the point is
some 15-year-old got run down and you're disappointed with the quality of the flowers.
Look at this, Suzanne. Fella lost his head here. Geraniums? Fella lost bloody head.
Well, that's
so we have to encourage gun crime so that people will get shot in inner cities and then we can put flowers up and beautify the area. Is that what you're saying?
If an area's nicer to look in, nicer to be in, if it's nicer looking, you don't get people speeding around like lunatics. Because they go, I'm not in a rush, I'd quite like to slow down.
This is so complicated. So now what you're saying is because an area is grey and gloomy, people speed around to get out of it. In the course of doing that, they knock people down, but then flowers are put up, which then makes the area beautiful, thus stopping people driving around at speed so death no longer occurs.
Well, they keep having to get out of their cars to cut down flowers.
They get knocked down.
Yeah.
Or other people on their way to put some flowers down.
Yeah.
Just sometimes people have to die, don't they? There was a fella outside our house who hit a lamppost. He had a helmet on, but his head come off.
You made me laugh at man's head coming up because the way you said it.
But that's the thing.
he had a, oh God, There's a man outside a house. He had a lamppost, he had a helmet on, but his head come off.
So you're saying that because in that one instance, the helmet did not save his life?
His head was in great condition. It's just not attached to his body. And that's what I'm saying to you. Sometimes people have to die. How far do you take all this stuff of you know, safety gear and slowing down and wear bright clothes at night? And it's just too much.
Very important point, you see. We give people crash helmets. We give them, you know, seat belts. We make them wear that, right? Do you think that's right for a start? Do you think someone should be made to wear a crash helmet? They're only hurting themselves.
Crash helmet. I don't think you should get fined for not wearing one. But then if you come off a motorbike and you hurt your head and you don't have a helmet on, then you can't sort of go, well, they should have had speed bumps there. I didn't realise we're going too fast.
Don't think we're not just protecting him. He could be a father with 2 kids. So you're going, oh, let him, if he doesn't want to wear a crash helmet, let him get brain damage. Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying, we're over the top in this country.
No, but you're saying, if you're saying, no, if he doesn't want to wear a crash helmet, let him not wear a crash helmet. He doesn't wear a crash helmet, he comes off his bike, he smacks his head in, he's a vegetable. He's like that, sitting at home, like that. And yet the 2 little kids come to you, you're in charge, don't forget, we've put you in charge of society here, and they come to you, 2 little kids, they go, President Pilkington, why did you let my daddy not wear the crash helmet?
I didn't. We put leaflets through the door. We had adverts on the telly, Sunshine.
Yeah, but why?
It's your dad's fault.
But why wasn't it compulsory? Because he wanted...
It's not the world we live in, Sonny.
Yeah, it is. Now I haven't got a daddy.
Has he got an helmet at all? Have you seen an helmet knocking about?
No, he's just a vegetable now. Yeah, he didn't want to wear a crash helmet, but why didn't you make him wear a crash helmet? It wasn't just him, it was us. Why did you turn my daddy into a vegetable?
Where's your mum?
Mum left when he kept going on about not wearing a crash helmet.
She put you in a home. I just think, you see, this is the problem. Everyone's looking for someone to blame.
Yes, but this is interesting though, because you were particularly callous to that little 4-year-old boy. He seemed so sweet and adorable.
Yeah.
But why wasn't he giving this stick to his dad?
Well, his dad's dead. He's a vegetable.
His dad.
As good as dead to him.
His dad went within the law. It was not the law to wear a crash helmet anymore, because you said, forget it, I don't want a nanny state. I don't want... If you wear a crash helmet or not, he wasn't a responsible parent. He hadn't thought it through. But this is your job. Some people aren't responsible. Society keeps them on track. This was you were in charge. You should have made him wear a crash helmet. He had 2 kids.
We've heard from one of the kids. What's the other one's attitude? Is he younger?
He's a bit younger.
Is he even younger still?
Yeah.
President Pilkington. My brother's crying now because you shouted at him. I wish you'd have made my daddy wear a crash helmet.
Why didn't you make your daddy wear a crash helmet?
Well, he wouldn't listen to me because I'm not in charge.
He didn't listen to me.
Yeah,
He seems like a bit of a numbnut, to be honest.
No, he did listen to you.
What did he do
because you made a new rule saying people don't have to wear crash helmets.
Right. What?
And he listened to you.
Did he pop shoes on in the morning when he went out? Or did I need to be here to tell him to do that as well?
No,
So he has got some common sense then.
Well,
Oh, right, interesting. So he can be bothered with his training, so he can be bothered with helmet.
No, I haven't got a daddy.
Jesus.
Wow, you are cruel to this kid.
It's just, all I'm saying is, there should be a leaflet.
I don't even know how he got in number 10, this little kid.
The thing is...
But he's got in, you should have at least a courtesy to listen to his point.
Forget all, I'm sick and tired of having adverts on the telly. Don't smoke, wear an helmet, slow down, watch your kidneys, look after your liver.
I haven't seen that one.
Now, I don't know why. Why can't they just put a leaflet through saying, hello everyone, use your common sense? That's all I'm asking. That's what I take
because some people don't have common sense.
Everyone's got common sense.
Fucking idiots.
It's not my fault.
That's why there is a government. If we let people, they'd be fucking idiots. They'd be eating turkey twizzlers and fucking watching Big Brother and X Factor all day. And then letting their kids run riot in the street.
But they are doing. Some families do just eat turkey twizzlers.
Yeah.
There is little knobheads on bikes playing out till God knows what
Exactly.
hour. So it's happening anyway.
But that's no argument, is it? It's happening anyway. That's no argument, Carl. It's what we talked about here. Social responsibility. The reason people get into politics is because they feel it's their obligation to change those things. This is your approach. I wash my hands of the whole affair.
Yeah, I don't like the people who don't wear an helmet. Sort of they do themselves in, and that's cleared them off. That's one problem sorted.
So you think you're being Darwinian? You're thinking survival of the fittest. The idiots will suit, but they don't. Because they're not just the victims. The dead person isn't the victim. It's a very good example is, okay, we've talked about it before.
you know, people who smoke know that it's dangerous. We know now that smoking gives you cancer. But why is that still legal? And yet people know that and they still smoke. Fat people know that they're going to get out of breath and clammy. And yet they still eat more. They get depressed, they're eating more. They know that they're going to be constipated for a year and a half, but they're still shoving in chocolate cake instead of carrots.
But because that's what I'm saying.
Why don't we stop them? Why don't we stop fat people eating? If you've got a smackhead and you really love him, you intervene, you grab him, you put him in a cupboard, you go, you're not coming out. He goes mad for about a year, then he thanks you for it.
Yeah.
So lock fat people in a cupboard. And just put carrots under the door. What?
The thing is, there's got to be some responsibility.
Can't grab Ricky, there's a cupboard over there.
You've got to take some responsibility, haven't you? Now, if it's your own fat kid, stick him in your cupboard. But what I'm saying is, as a counsellor, I'm not spending taxpayers' money on cupboards to put the fat kid in.
So, back at the Chosen 500 in ancient Greece, right, you're one of them. What other things?
I like that saying, the one about do to others as you'd like to be treated yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Pop that on a leaflet, pop it through the door.
But you seem to be doing a lot of leafleting. That seems to be your entire governance seems to be guided by popping leaflets through doors. And I get a lot of leaflets, so I presume the rest of the country does, and it's not always working. So maybe sometimes you've got ways to get something a little bit more strong-minded than fucking leaflets, my friend.
Yeah.
Maybe you've got to make a couple of laws.
This thing that every individual can go, how would I want to be treated?